slightly dry and hazy conditions in the afternoon, hot and sunny too in the afternoon. That's those in the middle sectors of the country. No major rains today. The coastal belts will have the moisture winds from the sea dominating the harmattan winds throughout the forecast period. Hence, likelihood of rain clouds formation over the coast of Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, late afternoon into the evening for after 5 p.m. is likely to be experienced. In a few days' time, we will enter into the major raining season, also known as the month, which is March, April, May. When we do, our brothers in Cote d'Ivoire should watch out for massive rainfall activities than Ghana next week. The state of the sea today will be calm. Temperatures will range from 25 degrees Celsius to 34 degrees Celsius over the coastal belt, 24 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius over the middle sectors, 23 degrees Celsius to 36 degrees Celsius over the transition sectors, 24 degrees Celsius up to 37 degrees Celsius over the northern sectors of the country. So, this is how the weather is expected to be for us for the next 24 hours over the entire country and parts of West Africa. Should there be any changes, I will alert you for viewers and listeners to be very much aware. Thank you very much, Mr. Kwaku.
I see. Before you go, there's a particular situation with Botswana. As we speak, about 5,000 people have been displaced because of very heavy rains that had continued for days. About 9 people have lost their lives as well. Have we projected, especially from the offices and the tables of the Ghana Meteorological Service, whether or not maybe somewhere in the year we could have that for which the assemblies and the regions where it's greatly impacted must prepare for? Is there a long projection and prediction that we might have done?
Yes, of course. This year we are anticipating that we will have massive rains than previous years, massive rains this year. So it's not, I'm surprised that those areas are experiencing massive rains. So we should expect rains, likelihood rains that is experienced over in our parts of West Africa,
okay,
especially Ghana and its neighboring countries this year.
Okay,
there will be massive rain this year.
Okay. I see. That's good news. Thank you very much. Good news in terms of preparation, indeed. But thank you very much indeed. And that's Mr. Solomon Bai's weather prophet. That's how we call him here. But of course, he brings to us every morning the updates on what the weather is looking like. This is an information so that if you live in a waterlogged area where water is sustained around you, then you have it. You have the news now. You should begin to plan before the rains come in so heavy so that you'll be impacted greatly so we don't go back to the cycle. And that's why a morning show like this is here. Well, let's get ready to celebrate some people now by way of birthdays. If today's your birthday, I hope you have sent it to our social media handles already. Well, pick it and do same. But of course, these are those celebrating birthdays with you if you are.
Yeah. It's your birthday. It's your day, one day out of 365. It's your day, one day out of 365. Happy birthday. Ooh, to you. Happy birthday. Yeah. To you. Happy birthday to you. It's your day, one day out of 365. It's your day, one day out of 365. Happy birthday. Ooh, to you. Happy birthday. Yeah. To you. Happy birthday to you. To you. You got a happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, yeah, yeah. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Well, there you go. These are men and women that God has blessed again. Grace and mercy found them this morning. Here they are celebrating their birthdays. If you are celebrating, you're celebrating with these people and even more. Loglo Victor, today is your birthday. Doctor, medical doctor at that. Also from the Business and Financial Times, Romeo Ajakoku Dokpo, today is your birthday as well. Jerry Cleef, you're celebrating your birthday. So is Sylvester Zanzibar. You're also doing same. But of course, we missed. I don't know how we missed this yesterday, though. But this is a man who has become a brother and a family of this house, especially on Gospel PR, one over our shows right here. Today, yesterday was his birthday. Shishishi Man is a blogger and also a radio presenter, an award-winning one at that. Then also, he manages some artists here in Ghana. And so wherever you are, the Shishishi Man, happy, belated happy birthday to you. Not too late at all. We get to celebrate you any day, anytime, right? And so happy birthday to you. Make sure that, I'm sure you celebrated. You have the whole week to do same as well. And so all the best, and thank you very much for making yourself available to always speak to us on our shows and also to bless the nation. And so that's by way of birthdays. Remember that, as always, we do it every morning. And so if you also want to be celebrated anywhere around the world, anywhere, there's a number on the screen. Just speak it, send the details to us. We will do so. But of course, you can go to also our socials, DM us, and send your flyer, your picture, and of course your name, even as we do so. And so once again, happy birthday to all of you. Well, let's now get ready to bring you some news from across the world and here in Ghana as well by way of Wake Up Buzz. Well, let's get on to the very first one. Let's start off with the local news. 5 injured in clash between Boku Senior High School and Boku Technical Institute during peace ceremony. The irony is that during a peace ceremony where the two schools wanted to probably smoke the peace pipe, that is when, if you like, conflict and rife decided to be seen. But it's very interesting that yesterday, I think the Deputy Interior Minister was vetted. Instead of us focusing almost all our time, 90% on these chieftaincy conflicts and the rest, one particular honorable member of parliament decided to ask about Prekese. Ghana. So talking about what Prekese said to a deputy minister designate for interior, where he's supposed to be focusing on what to do to these ones. But, well, we'll talk about this later on when the guys join us, won't we? But that's a very sad one. Very, very sad one. And then to another one, you are not in your movie industry, be more serious. To assist a Greek minister, and that's Habib Idrisu, to Mr. John Dumelo, who is Deputy Minister Designate for Agriculture as well. Well, that's it. We'll get into those news that's coming from our local scene later on when my fellow men join us. Now to a very exciting one. Asante Hini distools Chief of Ohim over multiple charges. Most of those charges include aiding and abating people who mined in some of the concessions illegally, indeed. And so the Asantehene is one of the chiefs here in Ghana. So he has distooled the man. Thank you very much, Asantehene. Let it flow, Asantehene. Let it flow. Let them go home. Once they are recalcitrant, let it flow. And so that's by way of distoolment there. Halt mass public sector terminations, TUC tells Mahama. I can assure you this will be up for discussion when the men join us later on in the show for our newspaper review. But again, quite a number of calls have been made to him to say, where was your voice when same was done elsewhere? Well, is it an era of equalization? Are these people whose appointment are being terminated or threatened to be terminated, have they gone through the right procedures, the processes? These are questions that must be answered. Whether or not they are, we'll see about that. Two Nigerians arrested for stealing laptop bag at Fijai. What? Did they think there was a laptop in it, or they purposely stole the laptop bag? It's something I need to look into, because really, laptop bag? Anyways, that's basic. That's basic. Of course, people will always be recalcitrant. They will always do the wrong thing. Well, let's go to international news now, shall we? At least 9 dead in Botswana floods, and following record rainfall. That was what I was trying to ask the weatherman earlier, to see whether or not other African countries, especially where we live here in Ghana, can salvage some of these things, especially ones that would aid flooding. But understanding is that 6 out of the 9 are minors. Minors are children, people below the age of 18, depending on what Botswana stands. But of course, they are minors. 6 of them lost their lives in the schools are expected to be reopened after days of closure on Tuesday. But that's news coming from Botswana as we have it. Well, Britain to impose sanctions on Rwanda over Congo conflicts. And just as we have said continually, for those of you who are added viewers of this particular channel, Rwanda's M23, March 23 movement, are part of those advancing, if you like, conflicts into the Congo region. And so some sanctions have started already. Also, I was worried about whether or not some people who have placed bans already on countries such as Rwanda have done same. So, question I quickly asked myself when I saw this news was that, did Britain also impose sanctions on Russia when they invaded Ukraine? Yes, it is true. They did so. 107 new sanctions was announced somewhere last year as UK unleashed their largest sanctions package in those days. Milestone package targets Russian military supply chains, revenues, fueling Putin's illegal war. There was also the strengthening of Ukraine's hand to help to build a secure and prosperous Europe and UK. And so, yes, indeed, for those of you asking whether or not UK or Britain imposed sanctions, just as they are doing to Rwanda, yes, they did. Well, it's a call in the right direction. Rwanda has to go back, do some self-introspection, and leave Congo alone. If there are things that Congo is not doing, there are places. There's the ICC there, there's AU there. No matter how you think they are toothless or gumless bulldogs, you need to go through the right channels to make sure that you bring peace to that region. And so, yes, I support this with 1,000 bags of cement. 1,000 bags of cement. Well, several missing as Kenya tightens border security after fishermen clash. Again, it's understood that some people from Kenya So the Turkana community in Kenya and the Dasenak community from Ethiopia are fighting. They were engaged in some fightings, especially along the coasts. And now some people are missing. Whether or not they are dead or they are injured or they are being held hostage is another news. And that is the uncertainty. And this is what the Kenyan Minister for Interior had to say. And I quote, more than 20 people are missing. If they were found dead or injured, it would have been easier to handle than the uncertainty we are facing now. Not knowing whether they are alive or dead creates a lot of anxiety. And that uncertainty hurts even more. And so that's what he said, unquote. It's sad that just about last week or last 2 weeks, the AU conference was held nowhere less than Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. It only tells us that these things are ceremonies. They are not addressing the root causes of conflict, especially on the continent of Africa. Otherwise, you will not find the young people who understand that they are one. We are Africans, we are one. And so we cannot continue on this tangent. AU must begin to do more. The other blocks must begin to do more. I'm talking about the regional blocks, indeed. Spanish city adopts migrants who intervened in homophobic attack. So a Spanish city has honored 2 Senegalese migrants for their heroism in trying to save a gay man beaten to death by a homophobic mob. Ibrahima Diak and Magate Indaya were giving adopted sons of the city status in A Coruna on Monday in a formal ceremony recognizing their actions. So these men saved a gay man from a mob injustice. And so they are being awarded as adopted sons of that particular city. Good news to them. Good news to the man who was not lynched. But the question you need to ask is whether or not it is legal to be gay or a lesbian or the other ones in Spain, and most importantly, that city. That addresses our issues. But congratulations to them for the good job done. They deserve it. Well, to the very last one, and the very sad one as well, Uganda probes death of Nigerian footballer in shopping mall. And so the federal government has called for a full investigation into this particular one, into the death of Nigerian footballer Abubakar Lawal in Uganda. It is said that he had fallen off the 3rd floor of Voice Mall shopping arcade in Kampala on Monday morning. We only hope that this does not start an international war between the two countries, Uganda and Nigeria. And that is why swift investigations into this particular one, whether or not it is a natural death, as in something caused by himself, or it is an attempted murder or manslaughter, it's brought to book, and people who are involved is brought to justice. And so clearly swift investigations and justice must be brought. That is the only way. It will not start an international war. It's not something we want to do. We are overwhelmed with conflicts already on the African continent, and so we might not want to start one, and that's why it's needed to do that. Well, that's international news and of course local news by way of Wake Up Buzz. We do that every morning, where we bring to you news making headlines from elsewhere, and of course the African continent are here. We'll be getting ready later on to do the news review. Then also we will also be joined by lawyer Kwame Jantwa, who is a legal practitioner, obviously, because of the name lawyer and the title, and also an energy expert. Will be joining us. Professor Evans Mensah will also be joining us while we talk about youth unemployment, not only in Ghana, but also in Africa. Who takes the lead? How do we show leadership so that we can bring very dignifying jobs to our youth right here? Remember also that some young people besieged the NDC office, national headquarters here in Accra, claiming that for 8 years they were hungry. For 8 years they have been hungry, so they need their jobs now. My question on a lighter note is, are the jobs buffaloes that we will just be dashing to the people? we need to take our time and go through the due process. 2 months into the year, you're asking for jobs? Well, we see. We'll talk about all of that and more coming up. We'll take a break. When we come back, tech and trends and all will come through. Stay with us. Well, that's it. Well, hallowed be thy name, and that's by our very own Reverend Faye. Have you streamed that song yet? You haven't? Oh, you should. You should. It should be part of your catalog. And if other music are there, songs are there, and this is not there, you are not being blessed. You need to watch it. Let's now do tech and trends now, and of course, we're ready to get into that world. Let's get into that. When we come back, there's more.
It's the Tech and Trends segment with me, your host, Stephanie B, right here on Wake Up Africa. It's good to have you on the show again. As you already know, the Tech and Trends segment is here to help you navigate the world of technology while keeping you refreshed with exciting music. So on today's episode of the Tech and Trends, we are going to explore how to use the NordPass. Many of us have a problem with remembering our password. So our password manager is safe. Let's check that out.
NordPass. Does it live up to its hype in 2025? To tackle a big question first, are password managers safe? I wouldn't be talking about them if they weren't. And I think you'll see pretty quickly during this video why they are. With its zero-knowledge architecture, only you can access your data, meaning not even NordPass staff can. This commitment to privacy is backed by independent audits, including one at the end of 2023, verifying its transparency. NordPass also offers multi-factor authentication, which includes biometric login for added protection, ensuring your account stays secure even if your password is compromised. Plus, its backup and recovery options make accessing your vault seamless in case of emergencies. It allows you to create customizable and secure passwords in seconds. Need something more memorable? NordPass also offers passphrase generation, perfect for accounts where you might need to memorize your credentials. Sharing sensitive passwords or sensitive information securely can be tricky without a password manager. NordPass makes it seamless with its secure file sharing feature, encrypting everything you send. NordPass lets you save secure notes, which can include sensitive information like private keys or personal details. You can even attach files to these notes, with up to 3 gigabytes of storage available for premium users. Its autofill feature is smooth, letting you choose between saved credentials or adding new ones directly to your vault. However, it does require the browser extension, which feels more like a necessity than an optional add-on. Transitioning to NordPass is straightforward. You can import data from other managers like 1Password or RoboForm, as well as from popular browsers like Chrome or Firefox. NordPass also supports passkeys, a modern passwordless login method for enhanced security and convenience. We tested NordPass across desktop, browser, and mobile platforms, and its consistent interface and full feature set are available even on mobile, making it easy to use anywhere. But how much is that easy use going to cost you? NordPass offers a wide range of pricing options to suit different users, starting with its free version. While the free plan is a great way to explore the app and familiarize yourself with its features, it comes with significant limitations. You'll miss out on advanced functionalities like syncing across devices, secure file sharing, and the full suite of tools that make NordPass truly powerful. To unlock the real value of NordPass, upgrading to the premium is the way to go. If you opt in for a 2-year plan with our exclusive discount that you can get by scanning this QR code or clicking on the link in the description, it's going to be hard to beat the value. This tier includes essential features like unlimited cross-device sync, secure file sharing, password health checker, and access to advanced tools like the data breach scanner. NordPass also offers a family plan, which covers up to 6 accounts under one subscription. This is a fantastic option for households looking to secure everyone's digital lives without managing multiple subscriptions. Each features like passkeys, secure notes with file attachments, and smooth autofill make it incredibly user-friendly. Add its affordable premium plans and family options that you can get at a discounted price down below, and NordPass offers hard-to-match value.
Yes, and this video points to the fact that password managers are indeed useful to us, and so password managers like NordPass are here to help us, move from one platform to another with ease. They do the storing of our passwords for us, not us. Yes. Away from the world of tech, we're moving into the musical world, and we're going to find out what new releases are available to us. And first off is Marie Kissie's Heavenly Medley, which is going to be released this Friday. So that's something we can look forward to. And away from that also, for many of us who find pleasure in God, there is Kofi Owusu Prepares Find Pleasure, which is also going to be released this Friday. And that's given us so much to look forward to when it comes to new releases. And now that does it for our new releases for the week. And now we are going into something more exciting. There are so many exciting sounds out there, and particularly Favor by Lawrence Oyor is doing so much good in the air. So let's take a listen.
One more time.
away from favor and we are going into something much more grateful by Samuel Sa as he titles this Grateful. Let's be grateful. Grateful, a special reggae tune that was released by Samuel Sa. And yes, it's also streaming on all digital platforms and we can listen to it and share in the gratitude he expresses. Now, the next track we will be moving on to is titled We Will Be Many and it features the ace musician Lawrence Zoyo.
You showed and the prayer that you made, I will make Jesus proud.
And yes, this is where time permits us to wrap up today's version, but I'm not leaving you out without a track. Since I want every one of us to have a good day, this is Good Day by Forrest Frank.
Okay. I'm about to have a good day, no matter what they say. Sun is shining down on me, birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day, in every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood, living in the present, not what I shoulda or coulda. I remember back when I was low as a rug. Now I'm standing up, look at what my Father does, turning all things new, gray skies blue. Hear the church say, won't he do it? I know he's got my back, that's why I'm singing that. I'm about to have a good day, no matter what they say. Sun is shining down on me, birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day, in every single way.
Good Day, yes, a sparking classic from Forrest Frank, yes, and it's streaming on, all social media platforms, and I'm sure every one of us out there is going to have a good day. And this is where time will permit us to wrap up with the Tech and Trends segment with me, your host, Stephanie B. Thanks for making time with us today and always. And it's time for me to hand over to Biadela and Koku as they dissect and bisect the martyrs of Africa. Stay tuned.
That's by way of Tech and Trends. Thank you very much. Stephanie. I hope she pronounced it that. Stephanie. Well, that's in the world of tech and trends, and this is what we do on Tuesdays and, of course, Mondays and, of course, Wednesdays. And Fridays, they come to studio to share with you what's happening and what's going to be happening in the weekend. And so make sure you make a date with us. If you want more, you can also visit our socials, even as we're streaming live on YouTube, X, and of course Instagram. You can also find these details on our socials where you get and stay educated. Well, it's now time to do the news review. My guests are in the studios. They are men of God first, and of course men of wisdom second, right? I hope they like how I describe them. Pastor Bernard Adi, or Pastor Badi, is a forensic scientist and social analyst. He joins, of course. For those of you who do not know what forensic scientist is, just as I didn't know first, he just uses science to solve crimes.
Hey!
Right. I hope I got it right.
Oh, you did.
You did, of course. And of course, also with Next Gen here at Action Chapel International. And so he's a man of a true many colors, many colors. Of course, there's also a clinical engineer who works with Lekma Hospital, and also a reverend, all right? He is a pastor. He assists the pastor at Teshi Action Chapel International. Reverend Xavier Demoji is here with us as well. It's good to have you.
It's good to have you too.
Absolutely. And so these are my guests for today. Let's get into the issues now. The very first story, of course, let me say good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How do you say good morning in Ewe?
Ndi.
What?
Ndi.
Okay. How do I respond?
Now.
It's wrong, but Ndi now, huh? On Ndi, right.
It doesn't sound Ewe at all. Ndi.
Yeah, it sounds like some African.
Yeah.
You know, we are connected.
Oh,
Our forefathers came from Nigeria. I think, or you also. Yeah, I think.
Ewes?
Yes.
they are from-
Ewes, yeah. I would doubt any origin they give me. You people are magical.
So confession is bringing a conversation we're having before. Please be warned before my people rise up. Anyways, let's get into the very first one, shall we? And I want us to touch on this one. Queen Mother of Ghana, Dangbe, I don't know if it's part of the stories that Dangbe Muslim Union Nungwa was shot during her installment and dies. Laurentia Na Bolin Nelson, also known as Na Gamu, sadly, I don't know how it happened. You are from Teshi, right? Did you hear this? Do you know about this? What happened?
It's a very unfortunate issue, you know.
Was it intentional?
No, I think there was a masquerade parading around the ceremony, and
Oh no!
as part of their activities or of integrating a queen, they have to give some gunshots. So,
Oh no!
as attempt of doing that, the person shot the queen mother. But allegations are showing that it was intentional. The person intentionally shot the.
Oh
the
no!
woman. So, it's very unfortunate, and I think the family is very bereaved, the brother, all the other people are really worried about the situations. It's a sad one. It's a very sad one.
Just like all the other deaths, though. But we're just saying the context, the setting. I mean, sad that installment where you're supposed, people are happy, they came dressed.
You know, some of the things are they happen around, you know. Anytime there is installment, there are certain traditional things that they do to beef up the occasions. And some of them is shooting of guns. It's good it has happened. It's a bad thing. No one should be happy with it. But we should look at some of these things. Anytime some of these occasions are happening, I think there should be some sort of security around.
While you go on to sharing your thoughts, right, I think it brings to mind the fine blend between culture and crime.
Yeah.
Because of these people who lead this musketry and all of that are able to hoard ammunition, small arms that could also be used to in crime. Yeah. I don't know, you are coming from that point. And so as much as I want you to think about it, I feel that we should go to these.
Oh yes, rightfully so. Because, and I don't know whether some of these firearms are registered. I don't know if they are. I really don't know if they, but there is such a commission as the Small Arms Commission. Yeah. And the Ministry of Interior, you know, one time somebody asked me how to obtain a pistol, and I said, okay, why do you need a pistol? He said for protection. I said, okay, there is a process though. You need to go to the CID headquarters. You buy from them, they register it for you, they do background check, make sure you are okay in the head.
That is important.
Oh yes,
Oh, yes.
We can't be selling to people who
anyhow.
No. Once they do the background check and you pass, you go through another vetting process. It's a very rigorous process. So all these musketry people, they are living in Ghana. In Ghana, we have laws. And whether you want to use these firearms for musketry or otherwise, you need to make sure that it is registered. So maybe this is something that the Small Arms Commission may have to look into.
I bet we are going to sleep on this as well, as usual.
But according to the story, the musketry hit her thigh.
The thigh, yeah.
So,
the effect, again, underlying conditions.
Actually, her family is blaming, they are blaming the thing on medical negligence.
Oh.
Yes, they think the doctors didn't really act, you know.
Oh no, that's far-fetched. So that would be like,
Is it?
No, I mean, hey,
that's what
how the patient is handled.
Yeah.
From where the thing happened to the hospital. It's
yes.
very important.
Yes.
You know how we just carry people?
But they die. People hardly die from gunshot bleeding.
See, it can cause you your pressure. That could kill. There are a lot of underlying conditions. Anything can happen to you.
I think what the family was saying was, I think the referral centers that they went. They first went.
Was she brought to Lekma?
Yeah, she was brought there. They refer her also to Reach. So when she got to Reach, that was when the unfortunate happened. So it all comes down to how these kind of emergencies are being treated. You know, some of these facilities that you are talking about, for instance, the hospital they went first,
right?
Christian Medical. I don't think they have the logistics to handle such a situation.
Was she sent like with an ambulance? Or?
You can't really attest. You know, when people pass on, a lot of people say a lot of things. So, sometimes they will say, oh, they went there, the doctor didn't say anything. He didn't treat. But I don't think any doctor will see someone bleeding and not offer any first aid. So some of these things are allegations that you cannot really confirm until you go into it. I've been at the emergency ward. People come, they look at your situation, they tell you, oh, this case have to be referred. And they get offended.
They feel like you don't want to treat.
It's like, why you know, there are emergencies that come to the hospital. So when someone comes, you are not the only person. They have limited staff, about 4 or 3 people who are treating someone. So some of these things happen. But all the same, I think we should have an emergency center. So some of these issues, people really know where to go.
Yes.
You know, because someone being shot, and look at the time frame for the death. It's very unfortunate.
Exactly.
So,
it doesn't make sense.
It's sad. It's sad.
It doesn't make sense.
I see. Well, that's it. Again, it happened to also one journalist here, the Kofi Adoma. Also, I think, yes. And so, shot in the eye, struggling with surgery. Quite a number of issues have come up, whether or not it's done. And so, we need to look at this thing. But on to another sad one. Let's go to the northern part of Ghana, shall we? Violence broke out during a peace ceremony between students of Boku Senior High School and Boku Technical Institute on Tuesday, February 25, leaving at least 5 students with severe injuries, several of them with minor wounds. The ceremony was meant to be a ritual spearheaded by traditional leaders in the Pauga suburb of Boku to end violent confrontations between the 2 schools. As part of the reconciliation efforts, the traditional leaders introduced a symbolic ritual, the burial of the okra stick, a gesture meant to signify the end of hostilities and the beginning of lasting peace. However, what was intended to be a moment of unity quickly turned chaotic. Tensions escalated and students from both schools began hurling stones at each other, disrupting the event and leaving many injured.
This runs right into what Reverend Bibi was talking about.
Indeed.
That if sanctions are not taken against these people, the students involved, they will keep escalating like this. This one calls for thorough investigation, and anybody found culpable should be dealt with. This behavior of secondary school, maybe university fine, but secondary school, oh, come on. But then again, this is Boko we are talking about. That area has been very, very, for lack of a better word, volatile for a very long time. And it's sad to see it has trickled down from chieftaincy issues all the way down to kids. These are teenagers. Oldest among them probably maybe 18, 19, you know, or 20 at the most.
Yes.
Because these are young people, secondary school children. What part or what stake do they have? What kind of rivalry would they have to result in such a large scale, you know, broad conflict? Nah, there's something off about this. And I think I saw it
inherited.
Yeah.
It's inherited.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Inherited from who?
Their fathers, their mothers, their siblings, they've seen them fight against each other. While you are passing, you know this is from a family that fought your family. There are some other scores to settle. And you see, the irony is the ceremony.
That is the irony. It was supposed. This is a ceremony that's supposed to. Oh, we are smoking the peace pipe, we're burying the hatchet, and then it devolves into this. And I think I saw a military tank there.
Yeah.
In the pictures that road.
They were brought in because you remember there's still the issue of curfew and also the issue of vigilance by the military, also because of the riot.
Yes.
So they've been stationed there for quite a number of.
I think if this calls for investigation. It does. It calls for investigation.
Well,
it's a sad one, you know. In secondary schools, some of these things is coming up so strong.
Yes.
Not only, I think this was for almost 3 weeks now. We've have issues. Even yesterday, Odogono School, they have to deploy police and other things.
Odogono School, how was she?
Yes, they were doing a protest, and police have to come in and
for street lights and also traffic lights.
The issue of secondary school is becoming very critical. You know, there are a lot of assertions about it. But when you look at what happened at Boku, it looks like there is a long-standing battle between the secondary school and the technical school. So the community decided to intervene and burying whatever it is.
Burying an
okra stick as a symbol of a peace between the two schools. The question is, why do these things happen?
Yeah.
It's very obvious that sometimes when people get to schools, you know, for instance, when we went to school, some of those things were there. When you see an opponent school, automatically you see them as rivals. I know where this kind of concept comes from. And some of the schools, you see them like your lovers. So automatically this thing doesn't happen. But the act of violence that is erupting, it's happening in almost all the regions. And I think this is something that is very critical, because if it is one school, fine. But it seems like all the secondary schools are having a recurrence of such activities. There's something that is basically not going right. Yeah. You could see that there's some sort of agitation, there's some sort of anger, or there's some sort of indiscipline that have really crept into the schools. And these are very serious issues that I think the Ministry of Education should come in. All stakeholders should be invited, because I'm happy with the PTA coming on board to assist the education system with the recent educational reform, all those things. But the way it's happening so frequent is very alarming. Yeah. What if all secondary schools now decide that, okay, since it's happening in Boku, nobody is accountable. There is nobody that is being, as my brother said, investigated, and corporates are being dealt with. You know, so when some of these things happen, it serves as deterrent to others. But if we overlook at it, we look at it, oh, it's Mofra, it's their children, and nothing is being done. It's a bit worrying.
Well, there are two things that I have to say. One, the Interior Ministry. As I said earlier, it was very funny comments, but I was not expecting, is he Lawyer Ahmed or something, who is Deputy Majority Whip,
the whip,
and was asking about prekese. What does prekese to the Deputy Minister for Interior designate? The reason why I'm
it's a vetting question.
Because Boku and the other chieftaincies issues and conflicts must take center stage. But you see, people like this, again. So that's aside. The other one is that I just feel that a National Reconciliation Committee must be put together, really, so that on television, let them come and tell us why we are wasting money. I use this money. I use this word advisedly. Wasting money to always tackle issues
in the north.
So let's open it. What are they nationally? They should come on television and tell us. I think
it's becoming sort of even a dent in Ghana's reputation.
Yes.
For country. You know, because there's peace all over except in the north.
No, yeah.
You know, Boku is always a problematic area. And
Which is not true, though.
Yeah.
No, but it's not true that there's peace all over.
Well, there is.
We have
relative peace.
Right.
Relative peace all over. But then, you know, these pockets of violence do not help. And it is if we sit down here down south thinking, oh, we are free, everything is bubbly, everything is okay. It's just a matter of time before it spreads and trickles down. You know, we can't stand aloof and sit and behave like everything is all bright and sunny.
Yep.
And, you know, these are isolated incidents. They are not. And the vigor and the seriousness with which you must tackle these issues must be prompt. It has to be prompt. It has to be swift. And this is a fresh government. So, you know, they still have hot blood. They should use that hot blood to, you know, focus on trashing this issue once and for all. This is secondary school, people. It shouldn't be happening.
I see.
It shouldn't be happening at all.
Well, that's it. That's it. I don't know what you think as well. You can also go to our live stream, YouTube, X, and of course, on Instagram. Drop your comments there. I'll be glad. I'll be very glad to share with the world. Let's go to some other news, shall we? And this one also has to do with justice that's coming from the traditional authorities. The chief of OIM in the Ashanti region has been destooled by the Asantehene over multiple offences leveled against him at the sitting of the Kumasi Traditional Council. Nana Kusi by the second, who has served as the Ohrimhene for 16 years, was accused of extortion in a chieftaincy matter, unauthorized sales of land, including cemetery lands.
Can you imagine?
And involvement in illegal mining. But he was mainly summoned at the traditional council meeting about the reckless invocation of Asantehene's great oath, which amounted to deceiving the Otunfo and desecrating the golden stool. That's it. Some justice being served. Oh, your people, right? Okay, all right. Oh, you are from the Ashanti region?
Ashanti and Ikuapim.
Oh, that's
Ashanti through and through.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
great.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, the Asantehene does well. I enjoy watching the royal proceedings a lot. And one of the things that you get from the Asantehene is that he doesn't tolerate nonsense at all. There was one case where the Antoahene is very old, he's in his 90s. And I think he was summoned and he was sitting in his palace and, you know, throwing jabs at the Asantehene.
Oh, I see.
Oh, and who is he? Weren't you here before he came? We are the ones who had to bring him, and so on and so forth. And someone secretly recorded it and it got into the hands of the Asantehene. And the Asantehene called him and said, come here. And this 90-something-year-old man was carried and sent. And he destood him.
Nice.
So if I allow this to pass,
yes,
everybody's going to start acting and speaking with impunity. Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
You are off.
That's right.
And it was sad because this man is old.
But he should learn how. If you are old, you should learn how to talk to people in authority, isn't it?
But this Ohrimhene, the allegations were fueled and confirmed by his own sisters. His own sisters came and said that this guy, he's been selling family lands in your name. He said you said we should sell it. that is the mess up for him. He's been used to Asantehene is away, Asantehene is away. That's what they meant by the invocation of the great.
Okay, right.
Okay. He was just invoking his left, right, center back. And what he was also doing is he will sell the land to one person. Then he will let illegal miners go on that same land to go and do illegal mining. And if you remember, Asantehene declared war on this Galamsey thing and said that if he catches anybody, there is no second chance. If he catches you, there's nothing like I beg. There is nothing like I'm sorry. Once you are found culpable, investigations prove that you are inside, you are off. So this guy, all the best to him.
Before I go, and of course, because it's in your backyard, so in any case, I can agree that he's taking some responsibility. I'm talking about the Asantehene. Beyond this, if it festers, if it continues, he should be blamed because all lands are vested in the Asantehene, right?
Yes. If he gets to know and investigations prove that any of his chiefs are involved, he will destool them.
No, but even if the activities are happening on your land, because we are told that every land belongs to him.
Yes.
So you should know what is happening.
Within his domain.
Okay.
And not just him. You know, this also goes to show that royal power is real power. The Chebihene, the Ikuapim-hene, the Gamanche, the Togba Federal is what?
Agbogbo-Mefia.
All of them have real power. The power that they hold is real. It's not just some ceremonial thing. they can actually make a world of a difference. I remember when, I don't know if you heard about it, when Asantehene decided to renovate the Konfanoshi teaching hospital.
Yes.
He had made noise about it all over, and nobody was coming. So he decided to take the initiative, and he taxed the entire kingdom. And then he used the money. You should see it. Koku, you should see it. The difference between what it was and what it is now. Come on. So royal power, if we are going to harness it, this local government thing that we are struggling with, DCEs, MCEs that are not really, chiefs used to hold a very important role in our local government. I don't know why or how we got to this point where their powers are largely ceremonial and they are only called when we are having a thereby and these kinds of things. If we are to follow in Asantehene's footsteps, we will make, especially in this Galamsey fight, there's this Queen Mother in the Sunyani area who said, if you're a man, come and do Galamsey. Nobody has stepped there.
Nice one.
Nobody has today. So if these chiefs should put their feet on the ground, because the water bodies, they are the custodians directly. The Praia River, the Dames, they are the custodians directly. If they should put their feet down and say, not anymore. These forest reserves that we are fighting and quarreling over, we don't have access. The chiefs are the custodians of these things. And we need to involve them actively. I don't know what else we can do. I don't know if we can have a meeting with them and try to invoke their royal powers. You remember Valentine's Day,
somewhere in...
I've forgotten the name of the town.
Somewhere in Bono region or something.
No Valentine's here. There was no Valentine's there. There was not a single red shirt in the town. And he put a task force in place. If you like, where red misbehave, you will hear from us. And it didn't happen anymore.
Well, good news is that the local government minister or the ministry itself has been merged with religious and chieftaincy. And during his vetting, I think he promised that
chiefs who play a much more
local governance, they will come back. Indeed, they are there, but it's about, just as you say, harnessing their powers.
Yes. They are our solution, and they are also our problem.
Of course.
Yes, because this Dagbon Boko crisis is all around chieftaincy.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you make of it?
It's interesting. When you talk of the chieftaincy power, it's recently I think the government gave some regulations, and when they were doing some burial. I remember I passed through Accra then. No one was.
If you're a man, go.
No one was around. So it tells you the kind of power the chiefs also play.
Yes.
So for the Asante, he need to do such a thing. I think it's well emulating. Because we are all looking at the Galamsey monies that is happening. And most of the chiefs are aware of it. They really know some of these things that are happening, but they are silent. So for the Asante, he need to come that bold to even bestow one of his people that is involved in such an act. I think it's well commendable. I think he has done a very great thing. I think other chiefs also should take it up. Secondly, when I read the story, I was excited with the issue that the sister, as you said, was bold enough to even testify against his own brother who was doing something that is bad. This is what citizens of Ghana should do. When some of these activities are happening, we shouldn't hide behind the clock that, this is my uncle, this is my sister. So when they are involved in act of Galamsey and destroying the water bodies and all sort of vegetation, we are silent about it. So I think it's a good thing. We thank the Asantehene for what he has done. And I think all chiefs will also believe that.
Absolutely. There are some messages here. Biadela, who's watching from the house, because she's a bit under the weather, says, oh no, I'm sure a reference to the children. She comes back to say, parliamentarians, honorables are doing the worst. The children will follow suit, right? I agree. DNA Atos is huge. These students, 1 million strong give thumbs up, and Sir Solomon is Wake Up Africa time with fire emoji, and of course, Cherubim says uplifting with fire emoji and some emojis as well. So that's by way of that. Let's go to the next story, shall we? This one really has to do with the issue of the TUC asking the president to, not revoke the appointments of those that are feared, those appointments that are feared terminated. The TUC boss is calling on the president to do so.
to not revoke the appointments post December 7?
Obviously.
Okay. This issue, we've gone into it over and over and over again.
And they are rising up. People are rising up to speak about it. CLOSAC is on strike. TUC is up now.
That's fine. But the exercise that is being undertaken is not directed at anybody. After December 7, when you know that you are going out of power, why do you make appointments? And why do you make such appointments on such a grand scale? So the thing is this: if you are qualified, you can reapply. If you went through the right process, you have nothing to fear. What exactly is the contention here? What are we discussing? Are we discussing the fact that these people are human beings and so we must allow them in the system? We are talking about precedents here, precedents. If we allow this thing to pass, if we allow this thing to stand, if we allow this thing to just go water under the bridge, it's going to become something that another president will come and think that is something that they too can do. The precedent that it is going to spell is not going to be good. We can't sit in a country where anybody can do just anything and go scot-free. Whether you are president or you are whoever, if you know you are outgoing, you don't make appointments last minute. To make the work of the incoming government more difficult, it doesn't work like that. And so I don't think that it is fair, totally fair, because putting yourself in the shoes of those who are being sacked too, it's a bit some way. Employment these days is not very, very, forthcoming. And then you find a place to land your feet, and because of one or two issues, the government comes in and they say, no, you have to go, you are sacked, this and that. It takes a lot of toll on the people, psychologically, economically, and so on. And so, on that empathy level too, I don't think it's the best. But we should understand that this is much bigger than NDC MPP. This is much bigger than, somebody being victimized or targeted. It's not a witch hunt. This has to do with precedents. This has to do with proper behavior. So, TUC, I really don't know what their angle is. I know they have more expertise in this whole labor thing, but on face value, I don't see any wrongdoing. I don't think that there's anything so bad that is happening.
Especially when it's after December 7th.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
Well. With TUC coming up, it may be on the sentiment level, looking at the plight of most Ghanaians that are being employed in this few months. For me, a lot of people have been on the waiting list for long. A lot of people have been serving as volunteers. Yeah. Even National Service was calling off volunteers. And, a lot of people are being on the waiting list. Some have been casuals at most of these institutions for long. And they are waiting to absorb. See, there are procedures by which these things are done.
Exactly.
But my issue is why after 7th
December?
You see, if you know the issues that are hanging, why don't you absorb them before then? So it looks a bit political, as a political witch hunting or whatever it is. But I think the right thing must be done. But fair enough, this is holistically, there are a lot of people who are not employed.
Yeah.
The people that have been brought in or they have been given appointment, I think they should find a way of reviewing it. Because what I heard is that they will review the appointment. Those that need to be employed will be employed. Those that need not to be employed. Because what happens is that people that were party favorite and other things were pushed into some of these organizations. And some of them don't even have certificate. Some of them don't even have necessary capacity to perform. So I think the review should take place. When such issue happen, if you are given an appointment before service and they ask you to, for instance, you are HR manager, produce your HR certificate. How long have you served? What was the application? Where was the vetting, whatever?
Interview.
Have you done an interview? Have you done a medical report? All those things, were they conducted properly? So these are things that will let everybody know that, in fact, you deserve the position. You are qualified, but not just because, I belong to one political party.
Yes.
They are out of power, so I have to be also put somewhere so that I can survive. That is dangerous because a lot of people may end up doing things that they are not really qualified for.
The issue was that I quite remember vividly that when this country were told, especially at the time, I don't know whether he was still the senior minister, Mr. Osafo Mafo, that there was no space in the public sector.
That's what he said. You see, that's the irony of it. So how come suddenly masses and troves of people are magically absorbed into the system? The same system. And you see, the establishment that I work for, the Ghana Armed Forces, I once asked the question, you see, we are severely understaffed. Yes. If you compare the number of officers to the number of soldiers, it doesn't work.
How is that? The ratio?
Yes, we need more hands.
Hands as in officers?
More officers and more soldiers.
Oh, I see.
Yes, we need more.
To do what?
Because of the way, you see, the workload as compared to the manpower. I can't say too much. Right?
Sure.
Yes,
right.
But we need more people, basically. Yes. But and the high command is aware. But now the issue is when you bring the people, who is going to pay? Who's going to pay?
I've got a solution. I mean, I could consult.
Okay.
Because I feel that, you see, you guys come from a very disciplined point, right? So if for any reason at all, you have architects in there,
yes,
we could use them to do more of the works that the public has to do.
The public?
Yes, because you see, there are architects there. What jobs do they do?
They basically contribute to military installments, stuff like that. So people like me, forensic scientists in the Ghana Armed Forces will be doing forensic work in the army.
Right.
But we don't only do work for the army.
Yes, so that you are paid.
Okay. Okay. But it wouldn't be sufficient.
Why not?
It wouldn't be sufficient.
So employ more, so they do more works, they are paid, the Ghana Armed Forces gets more internally.
And again, we
wrapping
have
up
internal, we have internal issues. That, yes, you know. So you said there was no money.
Right.
You said there was no space.
Why?
Ta-da!
7 December. It opens. Portal opens.
Let's be serious. Go home. If you are qualified, you'll be called back. Yeah.
Well, these are the guys. But of course, coming up from around 9 to 10, we're talking about unemployment, youth unemployment. And so please be sure to be a part of the conversations. These men are men who know a lot, right? But they've made some time to come here. So thank you very much. Pastor Badi, a forensic scientist, and of course a pastor as well, and also part of Next Gen Action Chapel International, works with the Ghana Armed Forces. Quite a number of things he does. Reverend Xavier Demoji is also a clinical engineer with Lekma Hospital, an assistant pastor with Teshi Action Chapel International. We're grateful. Thank you very much. Coming up is a conversation on Kingdom Finance Series, talking about opening emergency accounts. That account you have, you say is empty. You don't even have emergency account. Bro, come. Sister, come. Let's talk about it after this. Stay with us.
Some to on the vibe.
This year, blessing, money, testimony. Go to follow, you they go.
This year, good news, giant plenty money. Go to follow, you they go.
Everything I've been wanting, manifesting for my life.
Everything you've been wanting, manifesting for your life.
Even before you call, you don't answer prayer. My papa is too shy, you don't fit for your hand. Even before you call, you don't answer prayer. My papa is too shy, fit for your hand. Go money, go they follow, you they go.
This year, good news, giant plenty money. Go they follow, you they go.
Everything I've been wanting, manifesting for my life.
Everything you've been wanting, manifesting for your life.
Even before you call, you don't answer prayer. My papa is too shy, you don't fit for your hand. Even before you call, you don't answer prayer.
Away from that, thank you very much for joining us. Well, as I mentioned and advertised, it's now time to do some Kingdom Finance series. There are some messages also before we get into that on X. Wilbert says the frequent outbreaks of violence in our senior high schools are just alarming. You can also tweet at us or X at us. I don't know how it's called these days. Mark the Sun is also on X or Twitter. Is it that Ghana is changing or am I now waking up? As much as Wake Up Africa is waking you up, there's a bit of, if you like, change. And so upward adjustments of conflict and violence and all of that. But of course, we're also throwing more light on them. And there are conversations we need to have around that. But away from that, let's talk about you, your family, your home. How are you? How do you put together your finances? It's very, very important. And we want to talk about emergency account. Emergency accounts, obviously is very important. But you and I are working, we are not even able to save. We have to go and open emergency account. How must we do that? Mr. Bwando Koko, Seman Bwando Koko, I hope I got the name right, is with us, is the Kingdom Evangelist. No, Kingdom Finance Evangelist. He speaks largely about these things everywhere in your church, your workplace, and all of that. So you need to touch base with him. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Koko. You're looking great.
Absolutely. Thank you. Always in your white. And there's something about it. I know. We have to go there.
Yeah.
We will have to come there. Absolutely. So, emergency account. Why do we need an emergency account? I can understand the word emergency.
Yeah.
But, bro, why? It's difficult to. Let's talk about it.
It's a very sensitive subject.
Yeah.
And I'm going to speak with a lot of trepidation and carefulness.
Right.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 24, the Bible says that riches are not forever.
Riches are not forever.
In Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 to 28, Jesus talks about building on the solid rock. That rock is Jesus. But for the purpose of our show this morning, I want to compare that rock to having an emergency account.
Okay.
So that when the rains descended and the floods came, your house will not break.
Jeez.
Your house being your life. On the national level, there is what we call the gross international reserves, which is a country's foreign asset, including cash, gold, and other things. Globally, we all know that most countries their reserve is in the US dollar because it's a stronger currency. Some
UK
also
is gold.
do gold. Yes.
UK is
most
largely
also
gold.
do.
Even though they don't mind.
Exactly. So the whole thing is that life itself is unpredictable.
Indeed.
You can be diagnosed with a disease that may take for the next 30 years or so of your life. Where do you get money to buy medicines and to be going to the hospital? You may be depending on your husband or your wife as a source of financial emergency. If the marriage fails, how do you sustain your life when you need money? Because you're no longer married to this person. You can be there as a young man, they will call you that your mother has been hospitalized. And you have to go to the hospital there and pay money for her to be taken care of. If you don't have any money lying anywhere, what are you going to do? Your children will have to pay their school fees. Anything could happen to your business that you are running. Where are you going to get money to pay the school fees? If the business that has been doing so well, all of a sudden, a customer pulls out. These are just a few of the instances that makes the need to put money aside against what we call the rainy day or difficult situations that are unpredictable.
I see. So we'll get into that. Of course, at some point, we'll open the phone line so that for those of you who want to ask practical questions, you can ask. What forms the accounts, these emergency accounts? Is it going to the bank or doing susu, just like I see people do a lot of susu towards a rainy day or a dry season, or what forms it?
Okay, so the emergency account is basically an account that you operate to cater for emergencies, as I explained earlier. Now, this could be in many forms depending on your earning potential.
Okay.
And then how you run your life.
Okay.
By the way some people manage their finances, the emergency account could even be on their phone. It could be a special mobile money account.
That's not dangerous?
Yes. No.
If you are disciplined.
If you are disciplined. If you want to do, you can do it. Some could also operate a bank account. Some could also have cash at home by the nature of the kind of emergencies that they have. So depending on your situation, some people may even have it as a kind of a investment account that you can have access to every 3 months or every 6 months. So it depends on your lifestyle. If you're a startup and you're running a business, for instance, your emergency account could either be maybe something you used to buy a treasury bill or probably a special bank account that you will not touch unless things are very difficult at that month, you can't pay salaries. So you can go on to that account, take the money, pay the salaries. The following month, you have to replace it back because that's supposed to cushion you in terms of emergencies. Yeah, so it could take various forms depending on the financial lifestyle of the person. It can be a cash at home, it can be money at the bank, it can be an investment, depending on your lifestyle.
People who say it's generally even very difficult to save, generally difficult to invest, or even practically you are living from hand to mouth. Does this still go back to the issue of you have to find a way of having these accounts?
Koku, you have to, because imagine the embarrassment you go through if you have to fall on family members, your pastor, sometimes your girlfriend or your wife or whatever for financial support. Imagine the number of stories people will tell you when you need 2,000 cedis to sort up an emergency. You don't want to go through that stress, that strain, that embarrassment. That alone should be a motivating factor for you to make the effort to save. Imagine the disrespect that somebody may show you simply because you can't sort out yourself with 1,500 cedis. I think that is enough a motivation to sacrifice all you can to be able to have that private account to cater for in times of emergency. You may say you are not earning enough, but once a while people dash you money. Once a while money goes through your hands. No one, I mean, you don't need $1 million to become financially free or financially stress-free. The Bible says wisdom is a principal thing. You can put in measures in place. If you are earning 2,000 Ghana cedis, at least your emergency account should be at least 500 Ghana cedis. You know, so irrespective of how much you earn and what your expenses are, there should always be money that you can fall on when, you know, the unexpected happen, irrespective of how much you own. It's a matter of discipline and commitment, knowing that life is unpredictable.
I see. Is that where insurance is coming?
Insurance
is very difficult to access.
Insurance is a systemized way of cushioning us against the unexpected.
Okay.
Which is supposedly kind of a long term.
Okay.
So you do have the life one that covers you as a person. Then you have the one for property because you have a house. Anything could happen to it. Yeah. It could get burned down, or if you can get anything can happen to the building. So you have property insurance. You insure your business because you have a product that you sell. You have them in the warehouse. Look at what happened to the folks at Cantamanto. Okay. Anything can. So you insure those things. But the insurance is different from an emergency account. An emergency account is a cash reserve that you can fall on when the disaster strikes, you know, so that you can respond immediately. Okay. You see, because when disaster strikes, there are various ways in which people should respond. Some may take a longer time. Some respond on the spot. Some may have to consult and gather resources in order to respond. Your response rate depends on your reserve. People can be laid off in a company. In 6 months' time, some will look more miserable than others because some are prepared in advance that this work I'm doing, the day they will sack me, or the day they will downsize, or the day the company will fold up. Like it happens with Ghana, USAID. They say, we are withdrawing. The money we'll be using to support your budget, we cannot give it to you again. Now you heard the president taxing the finance minister that we got to fill this pothole.
Look for the money.
Look for the money. You know, so it's a very serious thing. Yes. I will even say if you have to fast weekly to be able to save that money, you should do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed, it helps your spirituality as well. Then it also helps you because sadly the embarrassment, and sometimes you are seeing your loved ones real under very difficult conditions, and it's so difficult to see them. Maybe sometimes even their lives fly away when you remain helpless. Let's open the phone lines now. You want very practical answers to some of these things. You can call in. Mr. Bwando Koko is here. He will help you to get in there. How do we create these accounts? Is he walking to a bank, or there are some very specialized accounts elsewhere? And as I mentioned, is Susu a good thing? I don't know if people running away with Susu money, but I've not heard. Have you heard of that? And is it part of some of those ones?
The Susu is a test case for a culture of savings.
Okay.
Yes. If you can't do the Susu, you have a problem with putting money aside. If you have a problem with putting money aside, you always be financially handicapped, irrespective of how much you earn. So you start with the Susu because you should start saving in your house. If you can't save money in your house, you can't save at the bank. So you start from the house. After you've been able to do the Susu, then you now go to the bank. Of course, these days, you can even do the savings via just some short code on your phone with an investment bank or with a bank. Okay. So you move the money from your mobile money to that bank account. So it's easy to do it. But the traditional way of saving it in the Susu box is a point to begin.
Oh, I'm even talking about Susu with people.
Yes. As in the concept of microfinance.
Absolutely.
And yes, that could be.
Well, not even the microfinance level, but amongst friends, so cooperatives, if you like, and friends of workplaces. So we're working here, quite a number of people. Say, okay, bring 500 to all of us. So this person will be your turn next month and all of that.
That's been an age-old practice, and it's a very nice way of also learning to save. Because for some people, until that grouping is done, where they'll have to save and every month they take their portion and continue contributing, it will be difficult for them to save. So if you are like that, team up, either at the workplace or at church or any place, just make sure that it's credible enough so that you can have that habit of also learning to put something aside every month.
Would you also want to probably advise workplaces to get into that? Because you see, like it or yes, it's very difficult for people to do that. And so if at a meeting we say, look, by way of welfare, and we understand that you are earning this little, let's all agree at the end of the day, we'll keep your 100 cedis every month so that at some point when you need it, you are giving. Is that something you feel that?
Yes.
Or be trampling on people's rights?
Oh, not really. I mean, in most corporations, these things are discussed. They have been systemized with constitutions and things.
Right.
Some have legal backings because they are staff welfare and things. So it's a very good practical platform that I believe that people can join. If there's something like that at your workplace, join. Sometimes people, look down on some of those things because.
No, I'm even talking about the workplace insisting or instituting it that these things are needed and you need it. And so because of the people, we see people coming for salary advance all the time, it means you need an emergency account.
Yes, the company might have instituted it because of experience and what they have seen about staff and their money issues and all that. So it's good, but of course it's not compulsory if you think that you wouldn't need it. But it's a good way to be part of.
Have you had to talk to people about it, and apart from the fact that they are not financially sound and they do not have enough coming in even to save, to invest, to create an account, apart from those excuses, what have been some of the excuses they've given beyond some of them?
So most people would tell you that number one, they don't earn enough.
Okay, cool.
So forget about putting something aside. That's the first excuse. But like I said, no matter how much you earn, you can always work around it. Somebody who earns 5,000 cedis, the person's lifestyle is different from somebody who earns 1,500. They are all living comfortably because they are operating within their levels. You must know your level and operate at it. So the first one is, I said, I don't earn enough. The second one is that people say, I have so many dependents, family members, my father, my mother, I have to pay school fees for some of my siblings and things. And I always say that, but when you die today, people will continue their schooling. Today, when you are not there, People will not kill themselves because you are not there. So to say I'm looking after other people, I'm supporting other people, so I'm going to kill myself. I don't think that's the right thing to do. Support people. But I will even advise that you should have an account for generosity. Within the month, I can assist people up to 2,000. I can't go beyond that. If I go beyond that, I'll break my account. Remember, you must be alive before you can save others. That's a rule. So you need to have your emergency account whilst you help people in your own little way. So having family members and people depending on you and all that is not an excuse not to have the emergency account.
Let's talk about, yesterday we were talking about gig economy. But the phone lines are opened, and so for those of you who want to call, the numbers on the screen, please make sure that you pick them. Call us, let's know what you think about the topic again. If you are facing any challenges at all, or you need specialized advice on what to do, please call us. Mr. Buando Koko is here, will help you to do that. We're talking about gig economy yesterday. The idea is that there might be other works you could do, maybe after work, remotely and all of that. I just came to mind whether or not that could even form your emergency account where works from these other ones, apart from your main works, you could want to pick up other works so that forms part of that.
Exactly.
But is this something you teach people as well to take other jobs, and what's their response like?
Yes, I do. You know, you can't talk about money without talking about income. Emergency account, where are you going to get the money? You have to work. Yes, so for those who may even have the excuse that my money is not enough, my salary is not enough, look for extra work. Sell something online. Publish a music, publish a book. Take up a teaching assignment, either in the evening or late in the day or weekends. Do something extra so you can have extra money to be able to put it in your emergency account. So in fact, in the process of creating an emergency account, one of the steps is to look for extra source of income. Yeah, because that helps you to be able to, let's be honest, if you have more, it's easier to save.
Yes.
All things being equal.
Yes, all things.
All things being equal.
Especially when you don't have a lot of responsibilities that eats it up.
Exactly.
It means you don't have more indeed.
Yeah. So that aspect of looking for something extra to do is important. And I must say that for many of us, we are wasting our time. Yes.
Is it a culture? Because why are we quick to go out there to work 3 shifts?
Yes.
Yet we cannot do it here. Is it because the jobs are not here, or the culture here does not stimulate?
The jobs are here. Probably it could be the pay that may be deterring people, or probably the conditions of service. So for instance,
hold that thought there. Don't forget that. Ado is calling us from Dawenya. Ado, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Ado, you're on air.
So maybe this is just a form of voicing a little bit of frustration, but at the same time, just asking what can be done for me. So I thought I had some small investment savings with an investment bank. Then DStv came in and then wiped away everything. I have no backup now. I am indisciplined, or I call myself a spendthrift. So if I put money down in a space of 24 hours in the house, I'll use it. What are some of them? What can I do? What alternative can I do? Because I've tried all my best and the thing's not working. I have an investment. I opened an investment account in the bank, and DDP equally took that away. So what are some of the mitigating factors for those of us who are trying our best and it's not working, and even for ourselves who seem to be indisciplined?
I see.
I don't know if it makes sense.
Absolutely. How old are you, if you can share with us? How old are you?
I'm approaching 50.
Oh, you're approaching. Okay, great. That's fine. I share your sentiments here. Thank you very much. DDP. Again, one of the safest places to want to invest in all of that turned to be the riskiest, I mean, in the last 4 years, if you like. What do you have advice?
Yes, that's unfortunate. But let me state also that the issue of the DDP was a recent phenomenon.
Okay.
Not something that has always been there.
Right.
I mean, government has always been a safe place to place your funds.
Right. Now we need to vary it.
Yes,
we need
but
to
you know,
watch it out.
there is free, branding. is now a bit in question.
Right.
So that's the person I want to say. Having said that, I want to say that in planning for emergencies, you need to have proper diversification.
Okay.
Do you get it? Proper diversification. Cash investment, cash savings, they are very good for the short term. In the long term, you need assets that generate recurrent interest.
Okay.
So for example, you've been able to work for some years, you buy a land. Number two, you could also buy a land and you build. These are not things that can easily be collapsed.
Yeah.
A business can always collapse.
Yes.
You can lose your business. If you have assets, let's say you build and you are renting and you are taking rent every year, that is something that can cushion or help you when your main investment go down the drain.
So I'll come back to that particular one, but Joyce is on the line. Joyce, can you hear us?
Yes, please.
Joyce, you now talk to us.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Okay, I must say this is a very important topic. I don't know whether you will repeat it because most of us are out already at work.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that in case you want to develop yourself by going to school, I mean by improving your education, my brother also called that as a kind of business because sometimes maybe what you are earning now is so low, and if you want to put it aside, it's good. But if in case what you can put aside, you want to use it to develop yourself by going for further studies, will that also be a good thing?
That's a very good question. Know. That's a very, very good question. So would we finish dealing with the Mr. Ado's?
Yes. Mr. Ado's case is a case of diversification being done properly.
Okay.
Yes, because the issue of the emergency account is that life is unpredictable. But when the worst happens, you should be able to quickly, rebound.
Okay. So you are talking about resilience. So he's got to rebound. Yes. But the situation is that he is unable to save because now he's got to now rebuild.
Yes. And it will take time. We have to be honest with that.
Okay.
We have to be honest with that. So the little that is coming in now his priority should be looking for more income stream.
Yeah.
To be able to rebound. The rebound will take time.
Yeah.
So you have to be patient about it.
Yeah.
Because you've taken about 20 years to build something, all of a sudden it's all gone. So it will take time to be able to rebuild.
Yeah.
So that patience and a little discipline with faith in God, also believing that God will guide and order your steps is important to recover.
I pray for strength, Mr. Ado. That's why I said, I asked of the age approaching. For some of us, we can run 3 jobs now.
Yeah.
I'm ready to do 3 jobs. Yes. Because Charlie, by the time I'm 30, 50,
yeah.
So the next one,
investing in herself.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's we need to be able to get these things properly streamlined. We are talking about an emergency account.
Okay.
That's supposed to cater for you in terms of short-term financial shocks.
Right.
Then there should be another account that is for special programs.
Right.
I am saving money for my master's program at the University of Ghana Business School for the next 2 years. That's a special account. I am doing this because I want to travel to the UK to go and do my master's in law.
Yeah.
There's a special account for that. Okay. So investing in yourself is also a way of repositioning yourself for more income. But you must be able to streamline the things well so that the cash that you have put aside to help you when there are immediate shocks should not be used to pay for school fees.
Okay.
Because you can be in the school and something can happen to you. You still need money to be able to address it. So what she wants to do is excellent, but there should be a separate account for that. What many of us struggle with is how to properly streamline these things. Even with business people, to be honest, sometimes we do that. Everything is put together.
Yeah.
You are running a business, and the monies you have to use to pay salaries, they are in the same account. Your own money, you also spend from the same account. So at the end of the day, when there's a little problem about the business, salaries cannot be paid. That's to delay for 6 months, 3 months. But everything is over there. You take money from there to buy food. You take money from there to run your home. You take money from there to buy stock.
So the key thing
separation is important.
Diversification.
Yes.
You've got to diversify.
Yes.
Let's return to the conversation. Of course, you also can call. Let us know what you think again. from the point of how to create an emergency account or the related issues indeed. And so the numbers are on the screen. The other one also has to do with what we're talking about, the culture here of doing more jobs. Is it that the jobs are not available, or just as some politicians have told us and some Ghanaians have agreed, Ghanaian youth are lazy or people are lazy? You know, some countries have also said we are lazy. As compared, when you compare us to Nigerians and some other places where it's upbeat, they say we are lazy.
Yeah, human beings are naturally lazy.
Okay.
And they need some motivation to be able to stretch and do more.
Poverty is not enough motivation?
No, poverty is not enough. In fact, most of the laziest people you find in life are the poorest.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You can find out, let me know on the next show if I'm wrong. Most of the laziest people in life are the poorest. Because poverty can make you comfortable at its own level. Unless you get an external force to push you, to scream on you, to shout on you, say, you can't be sleeping at this time of the day.
Yeah.
It is daytime, people are working. How can you be on your bed? Or you cannot even be in church praying at this time. Because even God works by orders. You can't use all the time to be praying. You have to work with your hands. So naturally, we are all lazy. But laziness is more intense in societies where there is bad culture.
On that bad culture, no, let's put this call. Erica is calling us from Nungwa. Erica, can you hear us? Erica.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, hello. Please, I'm running a open account with the bank. And
Erica, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, Erica.
Yes.
Yes.
I said I run a business.
Okay.
And I've spoken to some banks that I do investments with, that if they can help me. But they tell you is continuous saving will help you. And then there's no need for me to be saving with the bank. Because if I need money to push into my business and they are not helping, why should I? And so I want my boss to help me. Now, which of the banks can I save that within 3 months they can come to help me?
Help you in loan, like accessing loans, right?
Yes, because the work I do, I do money trading. So the demand is high.
Do you have some questions to ask him, or he should come to you? Do you have some questions to ask him now?
No, he should just go ahead. I'll finish.
My question is, which of the banks can I
All right.
Can I contact them within 3 months? Because I said 1 year and then no help. So to me, then there's no need for me going to the bank because they've been calling me, but I take my money, they don't help me.
Okay. I see. It's clear. All right. Okay. Sure. Thank you very much, Erica, for calling. You also can call. Any advice?
Yes. So what will help is what they call an overdraft.
Overdraft?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. What does that mean?
These days, most of banks will like you to a cash deposit, and then they give you the overdraft. So when you go for it, you replace it back, you go for it, you replace it back. So it can be an overdraft 1 year, or overdraft for 6 months or whatever. That's better for a term loan with the kind of business that she does. Okay. She can talk to any of the banks, they will help her.
So she should go specifically and say overdraft, I want an overdraft.
Yes, but the kind of business she does, she doesn't need a long-term loan. Yes, and that will help her. Because with the overdraft, one of the things they look out for now is a cash deposit. So I want 100,000. The bank says, come and put 100,000 down. We'll give you our 100,000, trade with it for 6 months. If you're okay, we come back for your money.
What does that mean? If I had 100,000, why am I coming?
Don't worry, the banks will explain that to you. But you see, the 100,000 cash is like a collateral.
But if I had that, why am I coming to you to take another one? Or I want 200,000, let me put 100,000 down. Is that how it works?
No. You see, the idea is
okay.
You have 100,000.
Okay.
That is fine. But the way you manage the 100,000, if it's yours, it's not the same thing as if you are aware that the money belongs to the bank. The bank is helping you to be able to manage that money. Remember that 100,000 cedis, and they probably will allow you up to about 90,000 or 80,000.
Okay.
You get it. So when you take, let me even say 50,000 out of that 100,000, you are able to turn it around quickly, get your returns, put a portion back, take some again, and then you continue running the business. In the past, what would have happened is that you are giving that money as a loan. So you go and run it over a period of time, then you come and pay back.
Yes.
But the banks have realized that most people default.
Okay.
So this measure is to help you manage your 100,000 cedis. So you don't default the bank, and then you also manage your money well. When you give it a try, what is going to happen is that you realize that it's going to help your working capital improve in terms of the management, and you'll also be able to make more profit.
Okay. Are we paying interest on it? Of course, there's
bank
charges.
Of course, there are interest that they pay. Yeah. So that one, when you speak to the bankers, the offers are different from bank to bank.
Oh, they pay you interest or you?
Oh, you pay interest for using the money.
Okay. Is that sound? Okay. As much as I get the security.
When you talk to the banks,
but if for instance, I'm able to save for a year.
Yes.
And I've saved with you.
Yes.
I've been consistent.
Yes.
What's the risk again if you are running a financial institution?
So, Koku, things have changed over the years. I'm sure you've been in this and you won't be complaining about non-performing loans.
Yes.
To the extent that sometimes the BOG has to help the banks get some of them off the shelves because it's just unbearable.
Right.
Do you get it? You see, the OD concept I'm explaining to you doesn't make sense. But you've forgotten that within 6 months' time, if you improve it, you can go back to the bank, top up your 100,000, and it becomes 150, and the bank gives you 150. So the bank has helped you to just manage your 100,000 to 150,000. If you do that over time, it can get to a point where you can have access to 500,000 cedis OD. If that money were your own, it will not have been managed well. So these are changes. Like I said, there are different offers with the banks.
So clearly, there are no banks that you can save with, and in 3 months they go.
There are banks also like that. That's what I'm saying. It depends on the kind of business you're running. For some, the long-term loans are better. For others, to overdraft will help them.
She wants to know the bank, or she would have to call you, or
she can call me. Then I think I can speak with her.
All right, okay. So we'll be putting you.
I don't want to mention names, and I'll be serving voice.
We will serve. By all means, you will be served invoice. You will pay for advert. But we're talking about bad culture before we wrap up. Bad culture here. What are the things that constitute our bad culture?
Yes. So here, when you finish senior high school, you are still considered a child.
Ish.
Your mother will be feeding, your father will be feeding you. Sometimes as a young girl, you can be on your bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Your mother will be in the kitchen cooking food for you because you have just finished SS. You are a queen. So you don't do so much work at home, you know. That's one of the ways we help people to become lazy. So people still have that mentality that they are young, they need to depend on someone, and it has to take time before they settle down.
I see.
Mr. Anyone.
Ro is calling us from East Legon. Ro, good morning.
Top of Mr. Lu.
Good morning. Top of the morning to you as well.
Mike, to your guest, and this is a very program. Can you question the question?
If you can reposition yourself, Mr. Ro, and I'll be glad.
My contribution is this is agent's account,
it's breaking bad. It's breaking bad. Let's try one more time. Please call us back. Call us back. Yes, you were talking about boys and girls sleeping at 8, they're feeding them. And they have girlfriends and boyfriends.
Of course.
Those people.
Of course.
After senior high
school. Of course, yes. And some of those young people too, they are given money by their parents.
Yes.
Money for which they are not, they are not even responsible. They don't account for how they spend the money. So that's a bad way of training children. Number one, you give them money, they don't account for how they spend the money.
Nice.
You don't get them to work. I'm becoming very, very uncomfortable with people finishing senior high school and rushing to university. Because I am thinking that if you finish senior high school, you should work for some years before you go to the university. Because I've worked with a lot of young people, and it's so much disheartening to see even someone from the university, 4 years university, and simple things in the office. It becomes a problem. They cannot do it. So if you can't do those simple tasks in your office, how can you take on 3 jobs to do.
Joyce is back on the line, I guess, or a new Joyce. Joyce, can you hear me?
Yes, please. I can hear you. Thank you very much for the response. It's wonderful. But I had a second question. Go ahead. I wanted to find out from brother, if, for instance, you have a job with maybe a big title but paying small, and you have another offer. Maybe that offer is not as big, the title is not as big as where you are now. Would he advise that maybe you abandon the one with the big title with less pay and go for the one with maybe a lesser or a lower position but with a big pay in order for you to help you save? Thank you. That was my second question. I'm sorry I didn't ask it.
Okay,
earlier.
that's fine.
Sorry.
Okay. I would have asked Joyce which one she wants to take. As for me, in my house, we'll go for the one that has no... If it title, we go chop. But, I mean, do you have an answer?
Yes, when it comes to work, the most important thing about work is not how much you earn.
Okay.
Yes. The most important thing about work is the skills you acquire on the job.
No.
I can be doing a work now that what they are paying me is a peanut, but I'm giving myself time and I'm building capacity. If I move from here to the next place, I can get about 5 times what I was earning before. I always advise people that before you resign from any company, make sure you have an idea about whatever happens in every department of that company.
Mm-hmm. Idea as in gaining skills?
Yes.
Okay.
How can you be working in a company, you don't know what happens in finance department, you don't know what happens in market, you don't know what happens in HR, and you've been there for 10 years. So the only thing you know is just your knowledge from your department. No. You can't do that. So with that company, you go to another place, you can't be earning much. Earning much has to do with expertise and knowledge. So before you make step from one place to the other, it shouldn't just be financial. You ask yourself, what do I have now that is a competitive advantage? That when I go to the next company, they will say you were earning 20,000, we are going to give you 50,000 because of what you are bringing on board. Those are the considerations to be made. Yes. So that is my advice. Title, like you said, you can't eat title. So if you have acquired enough experience, skills and all that, if you get better offers, why not?
But better offer does not come. So for instance, maybe you were an HR somewhere and you were paid less, head of HR. But this time you are going to be part of the HR unit, but not the head of HR, but you are earning more. You're supposed to earn more. She says, which one should I choose?
Oh, if you have enough experience in HR, which is your specialized field, and at that point in your life, I believe that you need more money. So you go for more money. It's like Ronaldo going to Saudi Arabia. That is it. At that level, he's not going to show anybody what he can do. At that level, he just want to get some more money, invest in more business. He's gotten the awards, the skills, and everything already.
That's smart.
Yes.
That's smart. Let's go back to the issue of accounting, because I'm excited about that. Because some of us lost it. We're not able to account for the monies we're giving. Here we are today. So talk to me about the bad culture while we wrap up.
Yes. So the bad culture, I've spoken about the attitude of young people in particular, by even with the parent not engaging these people and introducing them to work early. That's the first thing. Maybe another thing I also want to talk about is from the side of the church. Are we very, very happy if the future of the church can focus more on helping people to be productive within the church setting? So you can do that by organizing regular workshops on business, career, and entrepreneurship, and also financial, personal finance. These are things that should be done in the church. So we have moved beyond the stage of just having revival programs, Holy Ghost, blah, 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 just throughout the whole year. I mean, people should be taught to manage their money well, because when you pay your tithe, that is not just the end. So the church also should have a role to play in terms of people's career development. Then our system generally, there's a lot that government also needs to do. Yes. You know, some of the policies that come here and there, one government comes, they bring a policy, another government comes, they change it and all that. And sometimes it can affect what you do and even the kind of business that you run. So you have to look at your government, you look at the economic environment, you look at the policies that the different governments are bringing. Then you can create business opportunities out of it. You know, Donald Trump, with the tariffs he's placing on various countries, including Mexico, Mexico and India, Canada, and all those people. But I was reading something on Instagram, and the person was saying that what the guy is doing can actually create millionaires in America. But you have to understand the economic environment and how to position yourself.
Indeed, very, very, very key. And of course, God said you should occupy till I come. So it's not about staying and just praying all the time. No, that would be very bad. The other issue for me had to do with in the skills, acquiring the skills for the jobs that create more accounts for which emergency account comes in. People also have excuses. They have children, they come back from work and they're tired, they don't have time and all of that. Are these just excuses or these are realities on the ground?
These are realities because in an attempt to make more money, if you don't take care, you also die in the process. You end up acquiring all kinds of diseases that will take your lifetime to treat because you want to earn more money. And some people go to the extreme of also abandoning the family. So you leave home early, the children will not see you. By the time you come back, the children are asleep. I don't advocate for those kind of. The Bible says that a false balance is an abomination unto the Lord. So a lot of things should be taken into consideration. Some people even abandon their families and they go outside for many years. Wife and children are here and all that. Things should be done properly. That's what the Bible encourages us to do. So you should balance it. Yes, though you need extra, you need more income, you should be able to balance that well with your family life and even with your spiritual life. In an attempt to make more money and get more jobs, people don't go for church service again. This Sunday, they are very, very busy. With you, they said they are looking for money. Unfortunately, they don't also get the money anyway. So let there be a balance. I mean, it's God who blesses. Yes, just do your audit well and you know where and where to pinch your tent.
So we've spoken about emergency accounts largely. We've also spoken about how to open those accounts and all of that. Finally, before we get into your final words, what will be the, or it depends on you, what will be the emergency, or if there's para, that is where you go and take the money from there to go and buy? Is it sickness? What constitutes emergency? Yeah.
Okay. So if we take it on a national level, maybe probably in our country that's not so common, but I've just cited an example of a kind of a budget support amount that comes to Ghana that is no longer coming, and the Ghana has to go out and look for money somewhere to do it. As on the individual level, an emergency can be an illness in a part of the world. An emergency can even be, hospitalized, a member of the family being hospitalized, who is very close to you. That can be an emergency. You know the kind of family system that we have here. You have to support this, you have to support that. So now the emergency is not just your family, it also extends to outside people. Emergency could also be you losing your job. With the kind of system we run here, you can lose your job at any time.
Text message, you are gone.
You are gone, A
flash, right? You are gone.
A flash,
they will flash you and they are gone.
So the emergencies are they are all over around us. So you need to be able to operate with this in mind, not having that idea of entitlement, thinking that I am earning so much in cedis or in dollars, so things will always remain like this. So I don't need to put anything in place. No, the emergencies will always, and the emergencies also differ. Your emergency may not be a problem for someone. So look at your situation, look at your emergency, and make plan for it, so that when the things hit, you are not moved. You can recover quickly.
See, very much. Loans, emergency things, like going for loans?
These days, the banks have good offers for people who want to meet emergency needs, like school fees, even marriage. You can go for some loans and things for that. Once in a while, you can fall on them. The problem is when they become a daily or regular or recurrent lifestyle that you have to marry, you have to go for loans. Rent, you have to go for loans. Children's school fees, you have to go for loans. Your wife has been admitted at the hospital about to give birth, she needs blood. You have to rush for loans. That's where the problem is. As much as possible, you should cut off loans from your life. They are not good. Even if they are offering them, they are chasing you and calling you to come for it. Sometimes you have to beg them and tell them, I'm sorry, I don't need this money now. I want to live a very peaceful life. That's very, very important. Yes.
Absolutely, because I asked that question because loans have become emergency. So 24 hours, you can call us. You want school fees, call us for loan and all of that. Well, that's what he does. That's what he does. He's called to do this Kingdom Finance Evangelist. That's who he is, Mr. Simon Bwandokoko. Thank you very much as well. Want to put your number out there?
Yes. Viewers can always reach out to me. My number is 0549 762233. 0549 762233. You can always reach out to me anytime.
Absolutely.
WhatsApp. Yeah.
Indeed. Thank you very much. And that has been the Kingdom Financial series. We're talking about emergency account. Up next is a conversation on youth employment or unemployment. What is Africa doing? What is Ghana doing? Who is showing leadership? How must it be done to create more dignifying jobs for our young people? Stay with us.
Some Duke on the vibe.
This year, blessing, money, testimony. Go to follow you they go.
This year, good news, giant plenty body. Go to follow you they go.
Everything I've been wanting, manifesting for my life.
Everything you've been wanting, manifesting for your life.
Even before you call, you don't answer prayer. My papa is too sure, you don't fit for your hand. Even before you call, you don't answer prayer. My papa is too sure, fit for your hand. Everything I've been wanting, manifesting for my life. Everything you've been wanting, manifesting for your life. Everything I've been wanting, manifesting for my life. Everything you've been wanting, manifesting for your life. Blessing, money, testimony. Go to follow you to go.
This year, good news, giant plenty bonding. Go to follow you can go.
I want to welcome you to Wake Up Africa Morning Show. If Africa has ever needed to wake up, it's now. I promise you that this Wake Up Africa Morning Show will impact your life. It will illuminate you. The Bible said that thy word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. You need this insight. You need the understanding required to make all the difference in all of our lives. I want you not just to tune in to the Wake Up Africa Morning Show, but I want you to be a sponsor. I want you to partner with us as we take this Wake Up Africa Morning Show, the inspiration it brings, the impact across all Africa, to homes, to individuals, impacting lives. Join us to make a difference. It is said and believed that in this life, what you do to change the life of others matters than what you acquire for yourself. It is believed that it's not what you have, what you possess that matters, but the difference you made in the life of others. I believe as you partner with Wake Up Africa Morning Show, you'll be joining us to make a difference in the life of so many people out there. Partner with us, and every time we touch a life, you are blessed. Every time we impact a family, you'll be remembered for good. God bless you. Looking forward to partnering with you and tuning in to Wake Up Africa Morning Show.
Welcome back indeed. We're excited about the conversation that's coming up next. There are new entrants to the house. I don't know if this is the first time one of them is coming through, but I can tell you that for sure this is the first time the other is coming. But lawyer Kwame Jantwa is in our studios for the first time. He's an energy expert, a legal practitioner. He does a lot of things as well. He's a member of the CPP as well. But because here we don't do politics, we don't mention that one. Sir, it's an honor to have you.
Don't do politics.
Oh, we don't do partisan politics. But we don't do partisan
so
politics.
What do you do?
We talk about national issues.
So you sit and listen to what all the politicians are doing, just sink it in.
No.
You don't
what we do
express
is,
yourself.
No, what we do is to draw a fine line, and we call it governance. So more governance issues, we leave the politics to those who want to do the
Was Jesus a politician?
You can say that dabbled in some of those things. So some of those things can be called politics.
A lot of the things Jesus said in the Bible has got to do with politics.
We don't want to just be the others. We want to be fresh and new.
If we were to talk politics, a lot of the things the politicians are doing, they would think twice about it.
So let's talk governance.
Okay.
Professor Evans Mensah joins us. He's an adjunct professor in one of those prestigious, universities in the United States of America. He's a business strategy consultant, but veers more into the world of leadership consultancy. One's very passionate about Africa and where Africa is going by way of leadership. Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Again and again. And of course, so, I mean, how I wish we had this video available. Let's start off on this note. And I think this will tell us where we're going. So I saw a chance on a video. Was it yesterday, or even today while I was coming to work? Some young people who are sympathizers of the New Democratic Congress, the ruling party here in Ghana, amassed, at the party headquarters, asking that they are provided jobs because they've suffered for 8 years. We've also seen quite a number of people in the Galamsey sites who say it is their right because their party is in power now. They're also taking there are no jobs and all of that. So it tells you where we are as a country, where the young people who are part of the bulging population want jobs to do. What kind of jobs do they want? Do they have the skill set to do that? Are the jobs that are available dignifying for the kind of young people that we have? All of these and more is what we want to talk about, more from the leadership perspective and also where they see it. So let me start off with you, Lawyer Kwame Jantwa. Let's look at what we have heard the political parties, who of course make government, have said over the years in terms of creating employment, and what the people in opposition have also said that, well, these things are just not done in a very intentional manner. When you talk about youth employment, what comes to mind, and how are we, dealing with it here in Ghana?
It's not everything that an individual like me can say it is right or it is wrong.
Right.
However, the political parties that have ruled this country for the last 30 years, have they been able to solve unemployment?
No.
Let's take just this Fourth Republic alone. When you look at your natural resources, which is the most important natural resource a country has?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the extractives? What is it? The most important natural resource you have are your people. And how you train your people. Let me go to the First Republic.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And see how the president of the First Republic did it. He realized that people need skills to get employment. He tagged his industrialization policy to the skills of the people. So there were vocational schools, there were tertiary schools, there were training colleges, because it's not everybody who can pass an O-level or A-level certificate.
Right.
And there are those who are good with vocational. There are those who are good with agriculture. Mm-hmm. There are those who are good with other things. So he set up institutions to take care of that. In those days,
yes,
in those days, when you looked at artisans in West Africa, Ghana was the best. When you looked at teachers, Ghana was the best. When you looked at any other type of artisan work, plumbers, electricians, Ghana was the best. Why? Because they trained the people. Are we doing that today with our youth? So our youth mass up at party headquarters and say, we want jobs, we want jobs. What kind of jobs are we talking about? What kind of jobs would give the right salary or wages for them to live a better lifestyle? It isn't a job that is job. Look, when you go to the UK, and that's where my, is from. When you go to the UK, you do 2 jobs before you go and do your main job in the morning. Yes.
How's that?
You wake up in the morning, by 5 o'clock, you are in a department shop or an office cleaning. You do 2 cleaning jobs before you now go and do your main job 9 to 5. Why? Especially if you're an immigrant. Why? Because you want to make money.
Okay. So you are focusing on the skill sets.
Look, without skills, what kind of jobs would you get? Kaya you? Or what? People selling in the streets. All those people selling in the streets today, do they have skills? But you know, they are gaining skills by trading. Because if you go to Makola, some of the richest people in this country are the market women in Makola. They've gained a certain skill in trading, and they've learned on the job. But you see, I was talking about Nkrumah. He aligned his industrialization policy to what? The training of people. Have we aligned our education sets, our education to industry?
And
yes, have we? The politician can't create jobs. How many jobs can the public sector take? Very few. It is the private sector that can create jobs. But the private sector, do they have the wherewithal?
I see. Let me take the initial thoughts. I'll come back so that we go into these. Well, I mean, the good point that Lawyer Gentua raises is to say that when you know your country, you know the needs and aspirations, you would then probably do a lot more targeting. And so I'm wondering, we still have the vocational schools, we still have the teacher training, we still have, and so why is there no motivation for the young people to go? Because today, if you ask someone to go to vocational schools, hey, me, looks as though it's demeaning. Talk to me about it by way of your initial thoughts on why the gap is widening.
Good morning to you again, and good morning to your listeners. And I'm so grateful for my brother and lovely people in the studio. It's lack of knowledge. I don't know what you mean. The last statement you just made is sickening. Today we talk about Elon Musk. That's through a vocation. All right? You see, there's a difference between education and training. People are well educated with certificates all over, but they are not well trained in the skill set to be able to deliver utmost results. So then, when you say you're looking for jobs, what job are you looking for? We have JOB job, we have professional job, we have job for passion. Some people are passionate for what they do. They don't make money out of it, but they're just passionate out of it. But some people are trained well for a profession. So when you gather there, you said you're looking for a job. It is true. Let's be honest. The current government may have a good posture, but they're not going to do magic overnight to say that all of a sudden we have jobs for everybody. I was in one of, respectfully, one of the ministries that I will not mention name, which is not a secret to most of you who knows most of our public sector industries. At the reception, 2 ladies were there. One was consistently, I believe she never even raised her head, consistently watching probably Netflix or YouTube or something at the reception. And we waited for almost 15, 20 minutes. We left, not good morning, nothing, busy. So then, but she had a job. She's going to be paid. for her job. So it is important to understand the skill set that we are looking for and train people to be excellent at this. Look at the body system briefly, then I get back to you. The body system is diverse. If your suit was just on your hair, you look funny. If your shoe was on your nose, you look funny. There's a reason the feet is taking the shoe. And all the things you wear, it makes you unique. So the body system is also created to know ourselves and know what we are good at. I'm not a pilot. I'm not a neurosurgeon. If you want to die, come. I'll do surgical operation on you. I am not good at that. I don't like blood. I'm a consultant. I do what I do. I give motivation. I train people. I do things that I do. So if you know yourself, you do it. Sometimes we match the right people. Everybody is great. Ghanaians, Africans, we're smart. Yeah. Everybody is great. But what we are losing is not matching the right people to the right tools. So that side is also lacking that we need to look at. So the jobs are going to be there. Like my brother said rightly, that the private sector is also an area. But the private sector cannot be controlled by these government policies. If I have my company and I decide to hire only 2 people because the tax is too much on me, pressure is too much on me, I cannot expand, I cannot scale, you cannot force me. Yeah. So we can partner with the government to get things done though, but those policies need to be in place. So we need a matrix. The public sector, entrepreneurship, we need, and how do they do it? Not just good English. It's not Oxford English, it's not Harvard English. Practical ways that we can help them so that it's engineered that you are good, I'm good, the government is good because we are paying taxes, the economy is good, and then we can live a better life. So that's my initial thought.
Absolutely. That's and let's go practical now. I don't know how, again, people have to go to, if what 24-hour economy, the accelerated exports development office is going to do, what it means that we'll be looking for these skills. Places like the colleges of education that still have the allowances as much as the forum is going, I see, can we now begin to lift what I think, I don't know if it was Nkrumah that instituted the fact that allowances must be given, but can we lift it now and place it at where the vocational schools are so that people are then motivated to go there? Then we can get the numbers to work, because maybe, just maybe, that's what it's needed now.
What do you mean lift? Lift what?
Okay, so the allowances, the teacher training allowances, cancel it, because now we have enough motivation to have teachers go to teacher trainees or potential teachers go to the training colleges. But now motivate people to go to the vocational school.
Coco, why do we have to motivate people with money for them to do something that would help them? Well, why? Well, I don't understand that. In our days, put money aside. You want to achieve.
Those were your days.
So if the money isn't there, you won't go and train yourself? Is that what you're telling me? If government doesn't motivate you with money, you won't go and train yourself. You see, unfortunately, we haven't been able to look at the employment sector, unemployment and employment sector in Ghana to see what really is the problem. Is it the courses that we're doing? Are we churning out too many of one type of industry?
Yeah.
And you see, I always say, and I always use parliamentarians as an example, there are 2 sides to employment. There's professional employment and there's career employment. When parliamentarians get into parliament, they put aside whatever they've been doing. When they don't go back to parliament, those with a profession
they go back
to their profession. Those with a career struggle. Struggle. And I know parliamentarians today who have been in parliament for 8 years and are no more in parliament, had a career then, they can't go back to it.
Why?
But the lawyers, they've gone back to their chambers.
I even know teachers who are lecturing. They've gone back, they've gone back.
Yes, they've gone back. Yeah. But you see, they're lecturing. What about those who came from tertiary, primary school, basic school, and were voted to be parliamentarians? Do you think they can go back? Do you think they can go back? So we need to be able to make sure, in terms of how we put our educational system in place, because that is where it starts from. That is where it starts from. It doesn't start from, oh, I was a cleaner and I've been able to go through the ranks. So once I'm a cleaner, I can, put myself up. You need to train the mind. Have we? This job you're in, did you train yourself?
Yeah, of course.
How did you train yourself?
For self-development, I went to school, I observed, I read books. I mean, a lot of them.
You went to journalist school?
Yes, but I did PR. Of course,
You added to it?
Absolutely. I'm still going to be adding some.
Somebody like, and I always use it as an example, Richard Branson. In the 80s, he was selling records from telephone booths. Where is he today? Where is he today? Multi-billionaire. Are you saying we can't do it in Africa? We can.
But when the poverty gap is widening, and before I come to Prof, and that's why I want us to go back to how to get these people to these schools so that we can train them towards what we want to do.
What is the how? What is the how? You need to want to do it to go to school, if the schools are available. Look, one of the major challenges we have in this country is rural-urban migration.
Yes.
And I have said, especially in the north, we need to have a development plan for the north and north alone. Can you imagine what would happen if we can develop the north? Education, infrastructure, export. Because you see, the north is the boundary into the other countries. And if we are able to do that, don't you think people will stay?
Yeah.
Don't you think people will find it good to go to school? And the Northerners like going to school.
Yes. Very brilliant people.
Very, very brilliant people. Extremely brilliant people.
It's no joke.
But you go to the North today, you still see mud houses. That should tell you something. That we are not really targeting the finances of the country into areas that can give us good turnover.
Right. I see.
I pivot on.
Please do.
Just
Please do.
Because
Please
I want to. He's laid a bridge.
Yes, please do.
It's good to create a pathway to it.
Yeah.
With all due respect, not many people also know who they are. In those days, that is our father's days, our uncle's days, those times are different. When you look at TV and see the kind of English they speak, the way they dress, the way they portray themselves, we can also use old wineskin into a new wineskin. The world has changed. Those days, respectfully, great, love it. Things are not the same. If people like Nkrumah wake up today, they'll be shivering in their tombs and say, this is not what we sacrificed for. And a lot of leaders are going through the same. So what I'll say is that we need to unearth the talent for people. People need coaching. People need guidance.
I agree.
Because the truth of the matter is they don't know who they are. They don't know. Everybody wants to be something they are not. People pretend. I come in here, I see a lot of people with Gucci watches, fake. This fake. Everybody wants to be. So do you get what I'm saying? We are losing our culture. So that they want to be something and they look rich and they're not. So there's a lot of mindset game going on. So to me, in addition to that, those times it came even natural because you were born into a system that naturally, the system allows you to identify yourself. The educational system at the time was tailored towards areas. By the time you are in primary 6, you have an idea who you want to become. Because there are options, there are opportunities. But this time, even though there are options, it's limited options where everybody, like my brother said, wants to be a banker. How many amount of money are the bankers? But if you know, you cry. They know they're just in suit and tie, with due respect. So that
they have access to soft loans.
Yes, but we don't need to demean the opportunities and the jobs around.
Right.
Else, Zoom Lion, hello.
Yes.
Is that so much money? No, recycling.
Yes.
Waste to energy. So many things. So we need to educate people, to coach them and guide them to get to know who are you, not by name. Absolutely. Who are you? Absolutely. Probably you are more than who you are. You're using 2% of your talent. How about the 98% that we need to unearth?
But how do we do that? You see, there are schools that are not, even look at educational sector, we don't have things embedded in it that unearth you as a person. You are being taught.
Let me ask you.
Yeah, you're right.
What did you do in terms of secondary school? Did you do what we have to do? You did O levels. Which one did you do?
Oh no, SSE.
Okay. In my days,
yes,
you did O levels. You went to Form 1,
yes,
finished Form 5.
Yes.
You went to Form 1 between the ages of 11 and 13. By the time you got to Form 5, you were 16, 17.
Right.
Mature. Today, what happens? You do the first 3 years. If you can't pass to get into the next stage, you're out. Are you mature? Do you understand your system? Do you understand how to get to know yourself by then? No. That is failing us. That is one area that is failing us. I remember when I went to Form 1, I was 13. In fact, I was one of the eldest in my class.
13?
Yes, I was 13 because of the 66 school.
Okay. Because a lot of people were in
my father was jailed, so we stayed at home for 2 years. Didn't go to school. My father was Minister of Agriculture. He was jailed, so we didn't go to school for 2 years. And then we started school afterwards when my uncle, K.J. Osei-Bonsu and Maxwell Owusu, decided that we should go to school irrespective of the fact that the man is in prison. So I went to Form 1 at 13. But by the time I got to Form 5, I was mature. By the time I got to Form 5, those who even came at 11 years were mature. They understood where they wanted to be. When you got to Form 3, you choose your subjects for Form 4, Form 5. There are teachers there who will guide you. Today, do you have career guidance in our schools?
Have you been to the education reform already? And what would you have done? Quickly, this is not veering off the topic, but what would you have thought that is, injected into the current reforms that we seek to do?
I think they already have quite a few, but to me, STEM is very important.
Okay.
Science, technology, engineering, and math, they are key. It's not to say we don't need to train people to know how to clean up environment.
Some of us who are arts biased, we say STEAM, put arts in there.
Yeah, oh yes, no. So add to it as much as, but just the basic STEAM and all that, and even legal and L and all those things add to it. But I think they are very critical because the world is moving into a new direction. Because 50 years ago, even 25 years, 30 years ago, the world was not in our palms.
Okay.
If you close from work, you go home. Telephones are ranked on your wall at home, you pick or not. Only privileged people have it. Today, we have more phones population in the world than human beings. So there is technology. So people need to be veering, but not everybody can do the same thing. Not everybody can do even the STEM, the STEAM, the R, everything. There are more to that. But I think that the world is going to an area where we need to train people. But to me, back to the same point as my brother just alluded clearly, that people need to separate their profession, you call it career, which is, synonyms of this profession, and separate their passion. These two are two different things, similar to what you just said. So once we identify the coaching and training is what is not an ethic, it's not overnight. You go through kind of like a mental military regime, and people walk you through, and you're going to realize that you are doing things that you are not even supposed to. I remember I did O-level, and all those things. Those times, when you are a science student, that's where everybody likes you. So, wow, everybody wants to do it, but your math's not good, you're struggling, you're failing. Probably you have to do dondology, you are good in drumming and dancing, you'll be in Hollywood and be one of the most successful, or be in Ghana Wood, or whatever it is. But we don't. We veered into areas trying to be something we are not. So that is what will unearth that. But the other thing I would say is, when you talk about teachers, for instance, or talk about other educational, these teachers, it hurts me. I serve on boards that I advocate for teachers to be paid well. For instance, it's just one of the areas I want to touch base. These are guys who train us, give us the education, sacrifice, and pour the knowledge into us to be where we are today and still going. How would I want to be a teacher when I see my teacher wearing slippers? Going to school to teach and come back, go to a cassava farm, come back to eat. I'm not motivated. I am not motivated for that profession. So then, I want to do, how you call it, I want to find a way to make quick money and live well. So we need to find systems, ways to not just increase, but educate people. I can give you a lot of $1,000 now. Tomorrow you'll be broke. Because you've not been trained to understand that it's a seed. We need to separate the seed from the fruit. So people see everything that comes to them as fruit. They eat it. They don't plant it. So when we educate people, we train them also at the same time to be a better version of themselves. That's my thinking.
Absolutely. Did you go to the education forum?
You see, I didn't go to the education forum. But one thing that is missing is career guidance. When we were in school, you go to class 1, you have teachers monitoring you right up class 4, looking at skills you have, looking at which area will be good for you, looking at the work that you do, whether you're good at English, good at maths, and all that. When we then get into secondary school, Form 1, Form 3, you say you want to do science. Your teacher, your form teacher will tell you, Kwame, you're not a science person. You're good at biology. But when I look at your physics and chemistry marks, it isn't something you can do. We think if you go down this route, it will be better. You then pick a phone or come back home and tell your father, my teacher said A, B, C, D, E. Your father assesses it, looks at your reports and says, well, maybe that is true. So let's see how we build your capacity that way.
Career guidance.
Career guidance. When I was in law school, first year law school, the form teacher would tell you, you either be a solicitor or you become an advocate. And we'll monitor you for the first 3 years to see which one you fit in. There were some who were good at being advocates. There were some who were good at going out there, research cases and bringing it to the lawyer to do. So sometimes you were not good as a solicitor, but you were good as an advocate. They will tell you, go and be a barrister. You go and do your articles and be a solicitor. Do we have it today?
I see. Why are you unemployed? Why are you angry with your job? Why don't you like your job? Do you have issues around employment and how the models, unsuccessful models that have been started, continued, discontinued by successive governments? You want to share with us? Let's open the phone lines at this point so you can call in. My guests are still here, Professor Evans Mensah, of course, Lawyer Kwame Chantua. They are all joining us to speak about that. The models of youth employment and how we've run them in this country, I'm sure that angers you that very much.
Give me some of the models.
Okay, so it changes, and so you are not looking. So there's Maslock, there's NAEP, the NEIP. It changes as and when they come into power. And I am saying, I don't know who to speak to about running models and who it must connect to, because even now, what I get, and which is, of course, laying the foundation, is that it is only the National Youth Authority and its related issues or offices that are there. But meanwhile, the Ministry of Communication can work with hubs, right? Hubs in the country to create even jobs and all of that. So we see the focus is on the models from here. So I don't know where to start from really. Let me pick your thought.
The focus has got to do with politicians wanting to put what they feel is right into the social and educational domain. There are certain sectors that we shouldn't play politics with. But our national issues, we all have to come to agreement to. One is education. We need to sit down as political parties. We need to sit down as stakeholders. We need to sit down as parents and decide which kind of educational system we want. So that any party that comes into power, because we've all agreed this is the way we are going, they follow it. But today this party comes and brings one thing. Tomorrow this party comes, brings another thing. Sometimes they don't even finish. Look at the 2 years, 3 year thing that was going on. It distorts a lot of things and puts education in a place where it is very difficult to monitor. And remember, in so doing, we also cause financial loss because we spend so much money and in the end, we get nothing out of it. So we need to have a national discussion. And I would like a situation where the current president, he started this educational reform thing. Bring everybody in. And the opposition shouldn't say, oh, we are not part of it, so we don't want to come. No, 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 no. You see, once you do not bring your country first, and you bring individual interest first, the country doesn't go anywhere. We should see that we are building a nation called Ghana. And that nation called Ghana needs people to be able to make the nation where and what it's supposed to be. The gold is in the ground, isn't it? The oil is in the ground, isn't it? If you don't have the intelligence, how do you bring it out?
Or you bring it out and sell it raw somewhere.
You don't even know. You don't even know how to handle and add value. Today we are talking agriculture. We will do irrigation. We will do this. We will do this. What water body are you going to use to do irrigation today? I'm chairman of the non-agro sector at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority.
Oh, I see.
And what I do is that my work is anything added value in terms of agriculture, anything added value, I have a look at. Now, when you look at the agricultural sector, even finding money for those who are in agriculture is challenging and difficult. If we are not deliberate in some of these things, and we leave it to the ordinary farmer to go and find money, he will never find, because the banks aren't prepared to give the kind of money that is needed for investment in agriculture. So we need to be deliberate. Look, for me, agriculture is very, very sexy. It is an area. If we are able to do it well, but right now our water bodies would create problems for us. But if we are able to do it well, add value to it. Did you ever know that potatoes, sweet potatoes, can be turned into flour?
Flour?
Yes. Yes. Sweet potatoes can be turned into flour to bake bread. Yes. Yes.
That would be sweet, huh?
Yes. You know, and let me tell you another one. Pineapple crowns. What do you do with it here?
Nothing.
We throw it away.
Yes.
Do you know today, the Philippines have turned pineapple crowns into leather.
Yeah.
And those YSL and all these popular and famous bag manufacturers have realized that the leather from pineapple crowns are much, much durable from leather from animals. And so they are purchasing that to do all these beautiful bags. We throw them away here. And you see, and that's one thing. We don't do research.
That's
we don't do marketing. We don't do anything. So if you don't have the knowledge, how do you move forward? How do you direct? How?
The balance, the imbalance here is that the citizens might gain this knowledge at some point, because yes, I begin to read and I see it. But those who must drive the enabling environment for me to thrive as a private person, do not know this. So policymakers don't. I have the knowledge. How do we deal with some of these imbalances? Where I have the knowledge, I know, because just as it is. But this is not the first time Lawyer Janto has said these things about pineapple crowns. But still,
even the skin of the pineapple.
Yeah, we've still not had any policymaker say, okay, it's a place we need to go to. That's the imbalance.
So thank you. Interestingly, tomorrow entire day and Friday entire day, I'm lecturing on NIPS on innovation.
Oh.
All right. So thank you for the free consultation. I'm getting more knowledge.
Yes.
What we are lacking, we can. No, I don't. I mean, I have pretty much idea. I'm just adding the conversation to it.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that we also need to start, because Koku, we are in an environment, and I'm speaking as a Ghanaian. I'm not speaking to the world. I'm speaking to Ghanaians. We always wait for people. We like never being early adopters or innovators. We like to follow. That's why there's too much importation and we are not innovating. We are waiting for the government, or waiting for our parents, we are waiting for uncles, we are waiting for our big brothers and sisters to lead the way before. That part, can you start? S-T-A-R-T. Can you start in your little corner to attract somebody's attention to lead into policy? Sometimes we wait too much, we talk too much. Listen, Ghana, we are intelligent and we have every policy document, you'll be surprised, are written well aligned, banded. Unfortunately, hard copied. Not even hard copied in files. But the implementation is the problem. So I do agree. But if this conversation is about just waiting for government to do a policy to help give us loans or opportunity so that the policy helps us, the policy will be an enabler to help us. But in my world, what I do, I start something in my little way, then I have a conversation. As an investor and also advisor to, strategic advisor on the continent when it comes to investments. What I do, I don't invest in idea alone. I want to see somebody who has started something.
Right.
If you have not started, it's just an idea. We have 99% of the population is in the youth. Everybody has an idea. I'm not saying the idea is not good, but have you started working on an idea that you are feeling that you need help? That I see that you can motivate. It's like the Shark Tank or what we do in the continent where people, you address your challenges, then we help you. So that part of education is important, but we also need to start because the policy can start from our homes. It can start from our minds. And let me come back to something we're talking, lawyer was saying earlier. I have 3 amazing boys.
Okay.
They are 3 different amazing boys. They are never the same. My wife and I make sure we never compare them together. Their grades are different, their performances are different, their sports abilities are different, and then we try not to make anyone feel bad. When they were young, when we gave birth to them, each one of them, we allowed them I was blessed, so I'm not speaking for everybody. Yeah. We allowed them every opportunity. We are talking about youth employment, right? They are now almost youth. So from at the age of, in the next 3 years, 4 years, I knew till date, I even wrote it in one of my books. I know who anyone will be. If they've changed, I said I'll write another book on it. So far, everything we predicted when they were young is the same. We allow them with different toys, different things, and we know how they work with it. So I have an idea who is interested in something. So we start from home. And so it's important. The final thing I want to endorse on, I don't want it to fly away. You said it twice. My brother lawyer said it twice. I want to lay emphasis because it's a good point. I do not want, no matter what happens, institutions alone to make decisions for my children. I like when parents are involved in the policy making. I don't want you to, what values do you have? How are you trained to be the only sole factor to make a decision for my family?
Samuel is calling us from Medina. Let's pick this call and see what Samuel has to say. You have 1 minute. Samuel, good morning.
Good morning.
Your Honor, talk to us.
Please, I want to ask this question. I've been really wondering about it. And I just want to ask, do you think this Ghanaian education system is really preparing the youth for real jobs, like real job opportunities? If you think yes, how? How do you think it's preparing the young or the youth for job opportunities?
Okay.
And if no, what do you think some measures, what do you think are the measures that we need to take or the leaders up there need to take in order to make this system, good for the youth?
I see. If it were not expensive, thank you very much. If it were not very expensive, I would have wished that.
Would have wished he tells us what he thinks.
Right. Samuel, are you still on? Okay. I would have wished that Samuel, are you still on? Okay. I wish that that particular forum is telecast, if not too expensive, so that people can directly know where it is. They can go. They can also contribute because I feel
politicians always don't have the answer. Sometimes the answer is with people like
this
gentleman who has just called, and you need to see his side.
Yeah.
But you see, we've done something in this country that is creating challenges for us. Money supersedes everything, and that's a challenge.
Who caused it?
We caused it.
Right.
We caused it. So instead of sitting and thinking what the trajectory of your life would be, yours is to find money all the time.
Yeah.
And that can be challenging.
Very dangerous, yeah?
Very, very dangerous. For me, I believe the education system is not fit for purpose.
Okay.
I think we should sit and look at our education system. You need maturity to be able to go to school and understand what is happening.
So you say we should go back to the O-levels,
I know
A-levels?
people who did 1 to 3, weren't able to go to senior secondary, and today their minds are spoilt because it wasn't developed. Once they were thrown off the heap, what did they do? They had to go and find work to do at a very young age. We weren't able to consume them, subsume them into other areas of educational system.
It's sad.
So we need to look, we need to take a holistic look at our education system, both vocational, basic, all that. We need to be able to target the young children at basic level, because you begin to see who is who and who is what. Some of us, we didn't develop early. So in primary school, we were always at the last bottom. And even that, we got encouragement. Even that, we got direction. I can say, for me, I started picking up when I got to university. That's when I started picking up. Why? I was born premature. So there were a lot of things that I was slow to get on. But I got the direction, even in primary school, because my teachers knew that, and some of the teachers realized that this guy, he's slower than most of people. They asked my parents. So my father told them, he's a premature baby. So you need to give him special attention. But when I now got into university, I just plummeted high. We need to be able to do all those things. Do we? No.
And when we do this comparison, as much as I'm excited, is there a call on the line? Okay, Ro from East Legon is on the line. Ro, can you hear me?
Yeah, good morning. I can hear you.
You're
so happy again for this second competition. You see, we are missing the point. As we speak as a country, we are talking about youth unemployment. Do we have a data that shows clearly unemployment? We're talking about, do we have a data that shows youth who are unemployed? We must have a data that shows the youth who are unemployed, and then the youth who are unemployable. It is two things. Now, if we are able to know the youth unemployable, what it means that these are youth that they simply don't know this squad, and it is up to the states to then come up with programs like what they have about the enterprise, the Youth Enterprise Authority, or the Ghana Youth the Youth Authority, for them to go. Now, like a lawyer was saying, back in the day, there were centers that were established by DStv that the unemployable youth could go for skill training, regardless of you going to school or you having formal education or not. From after the overthrow of DStv to date, those centers, I know they are there. I know of the Pram one. But how many of these centers do we have in Ghana as a country? See, all the successful government don't really have a policy for the youth, making them employable. Unfortunately, it is like wholesale. Politicians come, they come and sing the tunes, keep the earrings of the youth, and then they walk away free. But not this time.
Right.
We will wake up and fight our fight.
I see. Indeed. So the issue, but there's data. Ghana Statistical Service has the data. And so we can tell who is employed, who is unemployed, who is semi-unemployed, who are those who have employable skills and all of that. So the data is there indeed. Is there any thought, or you want me to answer the question?
You can.
Absolutely. So I was looking at, now that we know the problem, and we have also talked about the National Development Planning Commission's work and how to tie it into what manifestos are and the plans of political parties. We've not been able to arm them enough to say that whatever party that comes must go according to our plan. I hope that the current reforms that we're looking will do that. But is that where the issue is? Because other than that, we're still going to have, if MPP comes someday, because they've started speaking against it already to say that the current president is trying to run away from promises, and so he's created the forum to run away. So it means that they clearly are dissociating themselves. So the education problems.
So first, before that, I just want to thank the caller also, and I think he made a good point also when he said those who are need employment and those who are unemployable. I think the key point I took from there was the unemployable ones. So it's important, and the data is there. Let's see if they have the data for that segmentation and all that. So that's important to know. The other thing that is important is to know those who are training, what exposure do they have to be able to train and educate us to be world cut-edge competitive? Are we just local champions, or we can compete with the Togo people, the Benin people, the Nigeria people, the Kenyan people, the utmost part? When we go for a conference and we want to display our vocational skills, our knowledge skills, our journalism skills, can we stand tall and also say we are at par with our neighbors at the same level? The cut edge is very, very important. So that's one. The other point, back to the main question, is that we need a national reform when it comes to, even though we're talking about youth unemployment or unemployment overall, Kuku, it's the same thing that happens in governments and governments. And this, there is, all of them do it. Where even projects are done, started, and then done because the party is gone. They start a new one. We waste money. We go for new loans. We go for new opportunity, seeking help. We should be thanking, I don't want to go there, but we should be grateful for Trump for stopping aid in Africa. It's going to help us to innovate and think. I'm just being honest. Sometimes we are overly reliant. I don't think at this point I'm still waiting for my parents to give me milk, to drink milk from my mother's breast. We've gone to a point we have to grow from eating milk, drinking milk, to eating solid food, to chewing bones, metaphorically and reality. So we should be grateful for it. It's an opportunity for us to develop as Ghanaians and Africans. But back to the point again, in link that, Koko, we need that kind of national, I wish there is a national government. When I say government, it's not overriding the presidency, where it comprises with all opposition leaders, current leaders, people with a state of the art, everybody, parents, they are there to make decisions, regardless of the government that is there. And what can be done is it can be a term, where it's a 6-year term overlapping. It's not within the period of a government. For instance, NDC is in power now for the next 4 years. It shouldn't be now for the next 4 years. It should be overlapping so that if the current government is in, they still have power till the next 2-3 years to talk about education and other opportunities there.
That's exciting, though.
Yes.
Let's pick the last caller. Benjamin is calling us from Sacramento. We have 1 minute. Benjamin, let's go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, my question is, what advice would you give to young people struggling to find employment right now?
Okay.
Basically, that's it.
Do you have further questions to ask him before you answer?
So
he's asking,
Yes.
what advice would we want to give to a young person who is looking to be employed?
In Ghana.
Obviously, yes. Because that's coming from Sakumoto.
Build your skill. Find a skill. Find something that you can train yourself in and direct your way to that. Otherwise, you just do jobs.
Yes.
Look, NDPC. I was a commissioner on NDPC. I was part of the team that drafted the 40-year National Development Plan. And I believe NDPC should be independent from the presidency. It should be an independent body like the Electoral Commission. And what my brother Prof is saying should have all that with them. They direct the country and the politicians follow. You should have all the different segments of the economy in there, and they drive the building of the economy. At the present moment, what drives the economy? Manifestos. Party manifestos. And sometimes those party manifestos, those who have crafted those party manifestos, they don't even follow it. So we are like a listless ship that is on the high seas but has no direction as to where it's going. We need to be able, and you see, I keep saying this, but it looks as if people don't seem to take it in. We have the Council of State. All past presidents should be part and parcel of the Council of State. All past presidents. They have the experience, they've been through the challenges, and they can do what? Advise the president in there. The president, every 6 or 8 months, should have meetings with these past presidents. How are we going? Are we doing it right? Aren't we doing it right? They'll tell, when I was there, I faced this problem. APCD is the way I looked at it. So let's see how best we can do that. The partisanship stops this kind of thing. But where we are today, with the kind of natural resources we have in this country, you compare to a country like Singapore that has no natural resource but is a first world country, you ask the question, did we come or did we go? Because by not doing that, we are failing the youth. Most of all, we need to be able to target private sector businesses to our education. And we need to be able to distribute these different businesses throughout the 16 regions. So that what you do, you stop the rural-urban drift to urban centers. And you need to be able to be deliberate to give businesses that you see can turn the economy around money. So, you look at the sugar industry. We spend nearly $500 million importing sugar into this country. If we were to grow sugar cane, do you know the added value sugar cane alone gives apart from the cane juice? Quite a lot. But it needs to be targeted and it needs to be planned well. And I agree with Prof. Yeah. I think Trump has done the best thing for Africa. Best thing for Africa. A population of 1.4 billion people. You take the Congo Basin, they can light up the entire Africa with the water bodies we have there. First point of call for Africa, develop your rail line. The first point of call. Railways converted the European Union because travel becomes easy. Moving from one area to the other becomes easy. And remember, when we trade amongst ourselves, we are not trading cities. We are trading international currency, but it stays here. And that is what our leaders should be thinking of. But they are thinking of, I need to sit in a Mercedes.
I know.
I need to have a
final
4x4.
words, Prof, before we
I need to have a big house.
Yeah.
Where does that go?
Well, I would say that thank you for this opportunity. I think there's a lot to do.
Yeah,
When we
there's a
talk
lot.
about youth unemployment or employment, if we have railway lines, it creates employment.
Yes.
If we have a banking sector that is paying people, it creates employment. If we have policies that reduces taxes for harbors or other things and institutions, that private sector, it creates employment. If we have opportunities where we can give training for and encourage people that you don't only need to work for people, you can work for yourself. Entrepreneurship, it creates employment because you would also go employ other people because we give you tax incentives and other things. One thing we should keep in mind though, there's always the front part and the back part, the good side and the bad side. The youth in Ghana is getting bigger. It could either be a dividend or a crisis. So the point is, my goal is for us to leverage on it to be a dividend so that we can leverage on the knowledge and target those knowledges and have conversation, coaching, guidance, education, so that they can be in their own real field so that the left arm is not trying to be the right leg. Absolutely. So that is one of the key advice I can give. Thank you for this opportunity.
Just to add,
yes.
In as much as we're looking for employment for others, we should also try and train people to get into their own business.
Yes, that's fine.
I mentor a lot of young people on the AGI. And Koku, if you see the quality of goods these young people are doing, they just need small push to make it better.
Well, this Benjamin who called, remember that you need to look out for opportunities like this, mentors like this. You can call us if you want their numbers. They show you where to go to and all of that. And also you have to build, after you listen to them, go and build your skill set so that you are ready for any opportunity that comes. You remember, of course, the research, read wide, of course, gain the skills as well. Thank you very much, Kwame Jantwa, and of course, Professor Evans Mensah for coming to the studios for the very first time. Let's have you more times. Let's have you. Thank you very much for watching as well. It's been a great day. We're back tomorrow to do it all over again. And thank you for watching. My name is Koku Lumo. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.